Everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan. Thank y'all for joining me. I most certainly appreciate you guys for being here on another episode of ABL Live. There's quite a few things going on. The impeachment drama is just beginning, and I don't see an end for it anytime soon. What is going to be the result of all this? I think it's going to blow up in the Democrats' faces. They really don't have too much here. I don't know what they're really trying to accomplish. I can't really call it. Maybe they're just trying to appease the far leftists in their organization. At this point, the cabal, the Democratic Party, your AOCs, Rashida Tlaibs, the nut jobs, the Adam Schiffs, making up stuff. Cold, stone cold, stomp down liar on the stage, on the stand. We'll talk about all that drama surrounding that whole situation. Also, don't you find it kind of interesting how these liberal kids are treated versus conservative kids in the mainstream media and also in government in general? Greta Thunberg, Miss Untouchable. You can't say anything about her. She's special. She's this, she's that. But what about my man, Nick Salmon, the so-called smirking kid with the MAGA hat on? Remember that? Remember people that were in government like Bakari Sellers? He has a face I want to punch. That's what he said. Do you remember that? I remember that. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all for joining. I most certainly appreciate you guys. You could be anywhere in the whole wide world, but you're right here with me, and I appreciate you for that. But got to talk about those political kids also. If you haven't followed my Instagram page, and if you don't follow my Instagram page and you want to, a link for that will be in the box. But I posted my invitation to the White House for this year's BLS. It's almost been a year. The last BLS, that's the Turning Point USA Black Leadership Summit, was at the end of October of 2018. It's almost been a year. We're here again. We're going to go to the White House again. We made history last time. Last time we had the largest young black conservative gathering at the White House ever. 400 of us in the White House. It made so much news. It was crazy. You had MS-13 NBC talking about it, Fox, CNN, ABC, everybody. I saw all kind of press there, Vice News. I saw everybody. I remember seeing some camera people from NBC. I was like, hey, you guys do a good job now. Don't mess up the story. And surprisingly, a lot of the mainstream media didn't do that bad. They covered it okay, as well as you could really expect from the mainstream media, quite honestly. You know, I don't think there's much more they could have done, really, because their viewer base is so far to the left. If they would have been in any kind of way more kind, they would have actually hurt themselves. But overall, it was okay. Some people didn't do a good job. MS-13 NBC, I would never forgive Nicole Wallace. Nicole Wallace did his dirty. And then you had Al Sharpton on there talking crazy, Jason Johnson. And I'm going to see Jason Johnson at Politicon in Nashville. So we'll have a little chat, a friendly chat about how he characterized us. What he said, we were lost souls, self-loathing, all kind of stuff. So I'm going to talk to him about those words he said in a friendly, kind way, as I am. I'm a nice guy. But yeah, we're going back this year. It's going to be transformative. People have been DMing me already. Oh, my DMs are just it's crazy. Everybody, it's going to be great this year. Going back to the White House for sure. Black tea. What are black people conserving? How about family values? I mean, black tea. You tell me who you vote for. Who do you vote for and what values do they have? We're conservative. We want to preserve family values like, you know, two parents in a household. There's this one picture, and I don't want to put it right here, honestly. Go to my Twitter. You can find it. But it's a picture of this boy who is now the homecoming queen. Yes, I said queen, not king. And that's not ain't the fact that he's gay. I don't care about that. He could be gay straight. I don't care nothing about that. It's the fact that he has on a sparkly dress, but appears to be the star halfback for the football team at the same time. You understand what I'm saying? Low cut. It's like no effort to even try to appear to be female, but It's like something like a person like that is dealing with some issues, and I don't think people should be encouraging that kind of behavior. That's what you get from the left. That's what you get from the left. You know, people are going through some things, and they're searching out. They're screaming for help, and rather than giving them help, rather than trying to get them out of that from which they are in, we encourage it and say it's okay for this, you know, Edgerrin James looking guy to put on a sparkly dress with no kind of makeup on or nothing and say he's the homecoming queen. That's what conservatives are trying to push back against. We're trying to preserve boys being boys, girls being girls. Okay, you can be a male that happens to be gay and be the homecoming king. In my opinion, that's fine. If you're gay, that's your business. I don't got nothing about that. That's you. But why must you put on the dress, sir? You see what I'm saying? Like, and this kind of behavior is being encouraged. Masculinity is being discouraged. So we are trying to preserve masculinity and femininity as far as men being masculine, women being feminine, family values. Very simple. We're trying to preserve the United States as a sovereign country rather than being invaded by outsiders. Okay. But if anybody has a question about, hey, Black T, if you got any more questions, man, feel free to call in. I'll be glad to ask. I'll get to the calls in a little bit. Let's get to the whole impeachment situation. Now, I mean, this got to be the most desperate thing I've seen in my life. 100%. I mean, you don't have anything with this Ukraine call. The president of Ukraine, Zelensky, got on television and said there was no pressure. The phone call was okay. It's all good. Adam Schiff gets on the stage and reads a fake transcript. Why must you read the fake transcript? Why must you be paraphrasing and adding your own 2 cents? Why? If the transcript is so damaging, if it's so damning, then why must you add things to it? Why must you embellish to make up stuff? There's no need for that if the transcript will speak for itself. If the transcript is so bad, just read that and then that's all you got to do. And just throw your hands up and say, okay, I've done what I got to do and that's it. You know, why must you add stuff to it? It's no need. Unnecessary at all. Okay, it said Christy Cromwell, pardon me, says, why are the Democrats going to Ukraine this week? Hey, probably trying to get some dirt on Trump. They already tried to get dirt on Trump in 2018, but that's okay. Biden goes to Ukraine in 2014 to lobby for his son to keep his job, basically, because he got the prosecutor fired that was looking into the company that was employing his crackhead drunk son, Hunter Biden, to the tune of $50,000 a month to basically do nothing. How are you going to be a drug addict, right? Listen. Okay, let's paint the picture right quick. You're a drug addict with a criminal record. You'd be lucky to get a job at Waffle House, let alone to sit on the board of the largest energy company in Ukraine with zero experience in gas, oil, none of that. No experience in any kind of energy, with a drug and alcohol background and a criminal record on top of that. How are you going to get paid $50,000 per month to sit on the board? How does that happen? I mean, it doesn't make any sense, but then again, it does if you are the son of the vice president, if you're selling influence, if you're in there to be corrupt, okay? And if it was so innocent, then why did Joe Biden go to Kiev like 13 times and talk to the people that are the higher ups and tell them, well, force them to fire the prosecutor that was investigating Burisma Holdings, which is the company that Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, worked for? Why? Why do all that if everything was above board? That's totally okay. Bill Maher even came out and said that if Donald Trump Jr. did what Hunter Biden did, that's all she would ever talk about. Even Bill Maher said that. So you know Bill Maher is a stone cold stomp down leftist, far leftist, a nut job, a crazy, a lunatic. But even a guy like that can occasionally see when a thing is obvious. I mean, come on. I don't care if Adolf Hitler were to come on here right now and say, hey, you know what? It's 8:10 p.m. Eastern time. I'm not going to be like, oh, you're lying because you're Hitler. And like, no, he's correct. I mean, I have a watch. I'm looking at it right now and he's right. It doesn't matter who he is. He could be anybody. He could be the devil himself and say a thing that's correct. If it's right, it's right, and that's it. But even he has to just take off the partisan stuff and look at a thing for what it is. It's very simple. It's one standard of justice for the left, another for the right. And we witness it every day. Social media, when you're talking about the government, it's simple. Adam Schiff was a crazy fool. Adam Schiff got on stage and read a fake transcript. Like, he interspersed some of Trump's actual statements with false statements, and he also removed some statements. It's like, if you take what I'm saying right now, like let's say I talk for like a half hour, right? Which that was a phone call, a half hour phone call. You take a half hour phone call, parse it down to 2 minutes, and then add in 2 more minutes of your own actual content that you made up out your own mouth. You know, little jokes and stuff. I can't tell if I was watching the SNL skit or if I was actually looking at a real Capitol Hill hearing about this whole whistleblower situation. It was ridiculous. And he's in government. He's a lawmaker. He's actually an elected official. He has the power to actually control aspects of your life if you live in that area, California, or even just the whole government in general. He has to be one of the people that votes on this whole impeachment situation. It's amazing that he actually got elected. I really don't even understand. But then again, hey, you know, that's California for you, unfortunately, in some of these very liberal areas. And I feel bad for those who have to live in California that are conservative. I feel really bad for you guys. It might be like North Korea pretty soon where you got to escape. And look, I'm a guy that will help you escape. I will be part of the Underground Railroad for you to escape from California if they just go totally over the edge. I got your back. Don't even worry about it. 100%. And speaking of the government and people doing crazy things, I want to talk about Miss McCain, Cindy McCain, right quick. Now, I was one of those guys at one point in time that would say, leave John McCain alone. He's dead, you know. But now, the more I hear from people like Cindy McCain and Meghan McCain and those that want to, quote unquote, preserve John McCain's legacy, I'm glad he's gone. I'm not glad he's dead. Don't get it twisted. I wish he would have actually not died to get out of office. But hey, he's out, so it is what it is. If he's out, he's out. That's kind of how I carry it. No, I don't wish death on anybody that is my political opponent or a person I don't like, but I'm glad that he's gone. He was not a good man, not at all. He was a legacy. His legacy was that of a warmongering GOP, and we're getting away from that. All right, we're getting away from that. We don't want to be the world police. I think most Americans are just realizing that there's no sense in us being in Libya and Afghanistan, all these places. For what? Why? How is it going to benefit us? So he is a hangover from that particular era. A bad man stayed in office for 2 to 3 more years than he should have while being sick with cancer. How do you have a brain tumor in your head, right, and get it removed and then go back to Capitol Hill? That's just showing spite. You're basically you have one foot in hospice care, the other foot on Capitol Hill, still legislating, or quote unquote legislating. You're barely able to feed yourself, but you're voting on things that will impact the entire nation for generations to come. That's a spiteful person, and I can't condone that at all. It's unfortunate that he had to die to get out of office, but I'm glad that he's gone. Cindy McCain talking about this is not the GOP that my husband and myself were part of. Well, good. Very good. I'm glad. Congratulations. A matter of fact, that's kind of like a badge of honor to me. I'm glad that the GOP has changed from when your husband was in there. And I'm glad that we don't have, she also said that, we don't have men like my husband anymore. Great. We don't want men like John McCain anymore. Okay. I'm a conservative, as many of us in this chat are, and I believe in preserving a lot of our core principles. But that doesn't mean that we never ever change. If the party, the GOP that is, has kind of morphed into a thing, it's headed up by basically lobbyists and people that want war and, external sources. If that's what it's become, then we got to get away from that. The deep state swamp, we got to untangle that. If the deep state swamp is like an octopus and it has its tentacles around the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, we got to get that untangled and get back to some kind of sovereignty as a nation rather than being controlled by outside forces or big money forces. That's just what it is. So Trump had to be, it was kind of a destined thing. If not for him, then will we have like another, kind of establishment person in there? Possibly so. That's why I like Ben Carson at the beginning, because he was an outsider. These insiders, they're part of the machine. They're part of the cabal. You got to transform the party a little bit, not to the point where we lose our values, but as far as the way we govern, you got to transform that so we're not so much into this, overseas, get away from that whole thing and get away from removing some of our civil liberties through Obamacare. How you going to block the Obamacare repeal and replace when you got one foot in the grave? I mean, stone cold crazy. But hey, I'm glad that we're moving on. Cindy McCain may not be glad, but it is what it is. If you can't move on, then you're going to be left behind. A lot of people, there you go, Richard Mitchell. She is right, and I'm very glad it's not. Correct. I'm glad. I'm definitely glad that we've moved on past that time. We don't want to go back to the time of 9/11, Iraq War. It's time to move on. We still got some work to do. The swamp is a thing that did not just happen overnight. It didn't just come about in George Bush's presidency or Barack Obama's presidency or who else? Slick Willie and all of that. It's been around for years and years and years, and we're trying to untangle it. Are we going to be 1,000% successful? Maybe not, but we're making an effort, and I feel like we're making progress. A lot of these people that are coming out now that want to, vote against the president, that want to side with the left on certain issues that are supposedly on the quote unquote right, they're being exposed, and their constituents aren't liking what they see. People are retiring because they don't want to, because now they understand that they can't do what they were doing anymore. The way of the past is becoming the way of the past. And she said, talking about Cindy McCain, that is John McCain's widow, she said that you can't even talk anymore. Everything's about Twitter and all this and that. Well, that's just the way of the world nowadays. Everything is about social media. Everything is about being able to be online and getting your voice out there that way. That's just the world. That's not exclusive to politics or to Trump or to the left. That's just the world. I said in my video earlier today, and if you want to check that out, it's on my channel, but I said in my video, how many times has Facebook been mentioned in divorce proceedings over the past few years? We are now in kind of a, I don't know what this is, it postmodern? Is that the correct term? We're in a world where technology has become part of our lives. In the West, that is. You got to be able to live with it. If you're still stuck in the time where everybody was on rotary phones and using phone books, I mean, those times have passed you by. You got to keep moving on. That's just what it is. Maintain your values, your core values as a conservative, yes, but you got to move on with your tactics and the way that you look at the world. That's why you got to have some kind of term limits in Congress, in my humble opinion. I mean, good grief, people in there like Nancy Pelosi for years and years and years and no change. And they're still kind of stuck in the ways that things were back then and have not really updated to the way things are right now. So at a certain point, have some kind of term limits and get some people in there that, know what's really going on. Yep. And the mainstream media is in the same situation. They got the same thing going on. They think that they are still the authority, that if not for them, nobody would get any news. Nobody would know anything. But those of us that are on the independent circuit, we're changing that. You have websites that are basically independent websites with journalists that are overtaking the establishment people. New York Times, so-called paper of record, has become a joke. It's a shame. CNN at one point used to be a decent organization. Now they have become the equivalent to TMZ. I would trust TMZ more than I would trust CNN at this particular point in time. That's a shame. It's really crazy. Why would I trust Harvey Levin, a guy that I recognize most from doing, judge, one of these judge shows, the divorce court? I recognize him for doing little street interviews on divorce court. Why do I trust him more than an established news company that's been around for a very long time? I trust him more than your Don Lemons and your Chris Cuomo's and everybody else over there. MSNBC is a mess. They get on there and attack people. It's a mess. It's like the equivalent of some of these YouTube panels where people just argue and scream all the time. It's not real news. It's not real journalism. So that was on my test, as you can see. I wanted to get that off. Definitely get some term limits in there. 100%. Kentucky Mama, 1,000%. People's Court, there you go. Deep Center Field Press. People Court, yep. I recognize him from that, doing little street interviews out there. Why do I trust him more than a Don Lemon or the entire CNN as a whole? But that's where we're at nowadays. I found that they have more factual information than CNN. And I think really the problem with CNN and MSNBC and ABC and CNN affiliates, they're just trying to get money. They're trying to capitalize on, hot button issues. It doesn't really matter if it's true, if it's false. It doesn't matter how biased to the left it is. It's all about just trying to eat, trying to get money. I saw a Project Veritas video, and if you don't know who that is, that's my man James O'Keefe. He does like the undercover videos exposing DC. One person I think from not Washington Post, New York Times, they got on there and said that, hey, we are a subscription-based company online. That's our model. So we got to be able to drive subscriptions. What drives subscriptions? Sensational headlines, attacking hit pieces, all that kind of stuff. The juicy stuff that generates subscriptions. So the so-called paper of record purports itself to be a legitimate news source, but then when you go on there, they're the same thing as a newspaper tabloid in the checkout section of a supermarket. That's basically what they are, because it's the same thing. Alien spotted in Elvis's backyard. Elvis is still living. That's the same thing the New York Times is right now at this particular point. But it appears to be more realistic. They won't say alien spotted and Elvis was in it driving, eating popcorn and chicken nuggets. They won't say that. They'll say, oh, Trump colluded with the Russians. Trump was improper speaking to Ukraine. They'll do the same thing that the tabloids do, but in a more realistic way. At the end of the day, it's all lies to catch your eye and make you buy whatever they're selling. So, yeah, I'm pretty much through with the mainstream media, as are many of us that are watching. But thank y'all for being here. I definitely appreciate you. If you liked the video so far, please give the video a thumbs up. And look out for my content coming up in Washington, D.C. from October the 3rd through the 5th. I will be at the Young Black Leadership Summit put on by Turning Point USA. I got my invite to the White House. We'll be in the White House Friday, this coming Friday, I think, 4:30 p.m. So I'm going to try to get some pictures, streams, whatever I can do from there. I'm going to get it. The lineup is crazy. We have Isaiah Washington, the actor, coming to the White House with us. He may be at the whole event as well in the audience. Hodge twins are going to be there. Candace Owens, of course, the whole Turning Point, they're going to be there. It's going to be fantastic. I'm going to try to get interviews with everybody. You guys are going to see kind of a different setup, I hope. If I can get everything squared away, I'm going to try to get interviews with everybody and just stream it, record it, and get it out to you guys some kind of way for sure. All right. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do. Exactly, J Max Boom, Yellow Rag Media. That's pretty much what the left has become. But it's going to be great. Now, the lineup for Turning Point USA's Black Leadership Summit, Hodge twins are going to be there, I think, as speakers, or they're just going to be attending. I think Isaiah Washington will be there attending or speaker. We have Jerome Hudson. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me see if I can just cast my screen right quick. I think that might be a little bit easier for you guys to see. Let me check it out right quick. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So we have Jerome Hudson. He's from Breitbart. Jerron Smith, I don't know him, but hopefully I get to meet him and see what's going on. Of course, my man Brandon Tatum, Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk, Rob Smith of Turning Point USA, Lieutenant Governor Hampton. She's a Lieutenant Governor of Kentucky. Deneen Borelli, of course, Hodge twins, Pastor Mark Burns, John Miller of White House Brief, K. Carl Smith, Mark Robinson. He was there last time. Great guy. Fantastic. Larry Elder was there last time. Angela Stanton King and my main man, David Harris Jr. They're all going to be there. And there may be some more. And like I said, we're going to the White House on Friday coming up next week at 4:30 p.m. That'll be what we got going on. But the itinerary has yet to be solidified. So there may be some more people that are going to be on the itinerary, some more activities to do, a lot of different things. All right. Now, I see the chat. I'm seeing some troll action going on. What's really happening? Is everything good? Okay, hopefully everything's all right. Yeah, Hodge twins are going to be fantastic. They're hilarious. If anybody disagrees with what I'm saying, this is a call-in show. So anybody can call in and say whatever they want. It's all good. 100%. Diamond and Silk. I'm not sure if they're going to be there, They may end up at the White House. I don't know. That's a good question. I have to ask, but I don't see them on the flyer. Let me see. Chrissy Cornwall says, "Hey ABL, do you trust the Senate Republicans? They've been so quiet while the Democrats change the rules and basically do whatever they want. Now they don't have a floor vote to impeach." Well, that's a good question. I don't trust all of them, but at the same time, I trust the process to keep them in check. Because as far as I know, the impeachment vote will be public. So if you are a Senate Republican voting to impeach Trump or voting to convict him in the trial, which is what would happen, if that's you, kiss your career goodbye. You would not get voted for again in your area. How can you say you're going to impeach the very popular? Because let's not forget, Trump is very popular in the Republican Party as far as his constituents. Very high popularity rate among us. So if let's say, for example, I vote for my senator in Tennessee, Marsha Blackburn, right? And let's say she goes to Capitol Hill and votes to convict Trump on some fugazi charge. I'm not ever going to vote for her again. I'm going to actually campaign to get her out of office. Now, nothing against Marsha. I don't think she would do that. I like Marsha Blackburn, actually. I'm just giving you an example of what could happen. If you vote to convict Trump on impeachment as a Senate Republican, your career is toast. So people may want to protect their jobs. You know, people got families and they want to actually serve the nation. They want to continue on. They don't want to damage anybody around them as well, because it ain't just them as one person. You got a whole team. So I don't think you're going to have anybody that really votes against them. People like Mitt Romney may come out here and say little stuff, little slick stuff. But when it comes to voting, oh no, he's going to vote properly. And if he doesn't, then he'll be finished. He'll never be able to get elected ever again. That'd be the equivalent of, being around when Reagan was in office and then voting to impeach him on some, the phone call was nothing. If what Trump said in the phone call was enough to impeach, then what Joe Biden actually did and confessed to on camera, that's enough to get him locked up for the rest of his life. But there's no talk about that at all in the mainstream media. I think I heard somebody in the mainstream media say that the whole thing surrounding Joe Biden is a conspiracy theory. So if it's a conspiracy theory, then what Trump did is nothing. It has to be nothing. Just compare it. And that the severity of each, just compare the severity of each. What Trump did must be nothing if what Biden did is nothing as well. What Trump did must be less than nothing if what Biden did is also nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, Paul Ryan. Yeah, but Paul Ryan's not in government. See, Paul Ryan, I think Paul Ryan would want to be one of those guys that would vote against Trump, but he actually resigned. Well, he was a House rep, if I'm not mistaken, so it don't even make a difference. Cindy Lang, I don't know what's going on with Cindy Lang. I can't really see the comments. And thank you all for the donations. I definitely appreciate you guys. 1,000%. Like I said earlier, even Bill Maher said if Donald Trump Jr. did what Hunter Biden did, then Rachel Maddow will pretty much be talking about that for the rest of the year, for the next few years. They were talking about Russia with nothing for years. I mean, literally years. Since 2016 up until now, still they're talking about Russia. It's gotten to the point where the mainstream media have convinced many in the American public that Russia is some kind of, imminent threat like Iran or something. You understand? It's gotten out of control. It really has. With no evidence. Like, what threat does Russia face? Like, how do we face a threat from Russia? What is the danger from Russia? There's none. None whatsoever. Okay. I see somebody wants to call into the show. Well, hey, if they want to call into the show, they can call in when I get done with the calls. I mean, with my little opening statement when I open up the calls. Paul Ryan's on the board of Fox News. I didn't know that. That's interesting, if true. Let me see. Thank you all for joining. I definitely appreciate you. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Also, share it. If you are a first-time viewer and/or not subscribed for whatever reason, please subscribe to the channel. Click the subscribe button and click the little bar right beside it. The little bell right there lets you get notified whenever I go live or post a new video. I definitely appreciate you if you did that for me. That'll make my whole day. Yeah, China's a big time. China's a threat from a economic standpoint, not necessarily a military standpoint. Yeah. They're not like Iran talking about, they want to fund terrorism in the Middle East and then disrupt world economies. David Clark, I've not heard about him being in DC. He could show up, but I've not heard about him being there. So I don't know. Maybe that's true, maybe that's false. Somebody says, Uncle Tom, is that you? Yes, it is me. Actually, I'm the hero. If you knew how to read, you would know that Uncle Tom was the hero in the book. So, hey, this is a chat where people know how to read and they're literate. So if that's not you, then this might not be the place for you. So that's all that it is. Oh man, I don't think the USSR would be a thing that anybody would want because the USSR did not succeed. It wouldn't work out. CB says, would I take a job with Fox News or OAN if offered? I don't know. Probably not. It depends on the situation. Like it's got to be because I like having my independence. So probably not. But it does depend on the situation. But most likely not. If you see me on Fox or OAN, then it has to be some kind of deal I couldn't refuse. But I like to be independent and do kind of what I like to do. All right. Let me see. Thank y'all for being here. I definitely appreciate you. Let me go ahead and get to the super chats. How am I getting in DC? On the bird. Of course. Now, let me see. But it's going to be fun, definitely. That's definitely going to be a good trip. All righty, let's go ahead and give you guys a shout out right quick. Thank you to J Max Boom for your super chat donation, who says, thank you, ABL. Thank you for your donation and your support. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Luciano, who says, obnoxious troll Cindy Yang would love to call into your show. Cindy has so much to say on the blog. Perhaps it could give us something of value over the phone. Laughing face. Hey, thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Like I said, this is an open forum. I welcome all calls. I'm not a discriminatory person. Thank you to QB for the donation. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Jonestown Autopsy, who says the only MSM person I listen to is Ainsley Earhart. Do you blame me? With the hearts. Hey, man, I don't even know who that is, man, but thank you for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Robert Houston, who says, you rock. Hey, thank you for your very kind words and your donation. Thank you to Pragmatic Crane 00 for your donation. I appreciate you with the OK sign. I'm going to talk about that right quick, too. Hold on. Let me get through the super chats. Thank you to Jay Evans, who says, we all appreciate your content. Hey, thank you for your donation and your very kind words. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Lori00, who says, always support young conservatives, our future. Well, thank you for that. I most certainly appreciate you. Thank you to Jonestown Autopsy, who says, mainstream media has become the Jerry Springer of politics. Hilarious. And you're 1,000% correct. Like I said, I believe more in TMZ than I do the mainstream media. And that's a crying shame, but it's the reality of the situation. All right. Thank you to XLX Bones, who says, please talk more about red flag laws. Love you. Hey, thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. I may do a video about that at a different time. For sure. One thing I could say about red flag laws is that they're abused. So it's a thin line between how can I say? It's a thin line between taking necessary precautions, like in the case of the Parkland shooting, and denying someone their rights, which is what happened most of the time with red flag laws. You understand? Because everybody said in the case of the Parkland shooter, something could have been done. They knew he was a dangerous person. They knew that he was going to do something like this. Nobody did anything. The question is, what can you do without a red flag law? In reality, what are you going to do? Lock him up? Pre-crime minority report? What are you really going to do? What's the actual solution? I don't know. I'm just asking the question. At the same time, if you put a red flag law in there, it will be abused more often than not. Somebody would just say, hey, ABL has a bunch of guns in this house. Come get them. That's an abuse of power. So luckily we don't have that here in Tennessee. But yeah, that's pretty much how that goes. Oh yeah. Oh yes, the OK sign and the bold cuts. Now that whole thing was crazy. The ADL That's the Anti-Defamation League, which is very powerful. A lot of mainstream media cite them. I think Google and Facebook have quote unquote partnered with them to quote unquote eliminate hate speech online. But different story. I digress. The point is that they're very powerful. They came out and said that the OK sign is a symbol of white supremacy. Yes, they did. They also said bowl cut hairstyles, those are also white supremacist symbols. So if you do this and you have a bowl cut hairstyle and you happen to be white, then look out, you might get locked up for thought crime. It's unreal. It's like, since when did a hairstyle become a white supremacist thing? And then the thing about it, Asia did not get the memo, okay? North Korea, they did not get the memo. That's the super popular style everybody has. A lot of celebrities have it. A lot of little kids have it from their mom just, cutting their hair in the kitchen with some kind of cake bowl on top of their head. It's like a normal thing to actually have. It's kind of a funny hairstyle sometimes when I see it. This ain't 1984 anymore, but I digress. My point is that how are you going to label a hairstyle a symbol of white supremacy, or a symbol that everybody knows is okay? It's in your phone right now. If you look in the emoji section and you search for the equivalent to okay in emoji, it will be this right here. Some 4chan people said they put out a prank, and they said that this means white power. They said the three fingers, your index, middle, and your pinky, not index, pardon me, your middle, your ring, and your pinky, they make the W, but your index and your thumb form the P, because when you get the loop right here, that's a loop of the P, and then your hand down to your wrist is the actual stem of the P. So they said this means white power. And the mainstream media ran with it. They ran with it. A simple little bit of research will show you that that's not real. Everybody knows this means okay. But now it's a symbol of white supremacy. It's unreal. Then they're going to say having the bald head is a symbol of white supremacy because skinheads have it. I'm waiting. Or they'll say, if you have a bald head and a tattoo of any kind on top of your head, that means you're a white supremacist. And you've probably been locked up before or something like that. So you could have hi mom with a rose on your head and you happen to be bald from alopecia or something like that. Now you are a white supremacist. That's where we're going. Do racists eat food? Yes, they do. Okay. So that means if you eat food, you're a racist too. It's absurd. Where do we actually stop this stuff? And this is why the left are losing steam nationally. Ridiculous things like that. No, that's pretty much what that is. Yeah, but people, they the mainstream media, they make people believe in it, although it's really nothing there. But the funny part about it is that this also is blood gang sign. This right here, this is the blood gang. But do they put that in their little hate symbol index? Why not? I'm sure there are more Bloods that do this than so-called white supremacists that do this. This is not even the real thing. This is something that was made up on the internet as a joke, as a prank. But this is most certainly real. You do this in the wrong hood, that might, get your hind parts tore from the riddle to the tutor. You understand what I'm saying? So why not put that in the hate symbol index? Okay. I'm sure the Bloods have killed more people than the so-called white supremacists has in recent times. I'm sure they have. Okay. You're talking about black on black violence. You're talking like 7,000 deaths a year, every year. And it's usually young black males between the ages of 15 and 30 doing it. A lot of them are in gangs, gang-related, Bloods, Crips, GDs, VLs, all of that. Okay? So this, when you're talking about the blood gang, will make more sense to designate as some kind of hate symbol, but it's not. Why? When you go to the ABL site, they're only focused on white people, nobody else. It's like, why? Are there only white hate groups in America? Surely there are other hate groups in America. They had like prison gang stuff, like crazy white boys. It's like, really? Come on, crazy white boys? No, like MA, none of that stuff in there as a hate symbol. No Mexican gang tattoos, none of that's in there. Why? You talking about some obscure white prison gang as a symbol of hate, but not these big organized multinational cartels? It's stupid. So at a certain point, it's like, how do we let the ADL get into this position of power, like with Google, Facebook, all that kind of stuff? It's ridiculous. Yep. Divine says 18th Street Hispanic gangs. Throw that up in LA. Yeah, exactly. So it's like what they be doing. We're not focusing on the actual causes or the actual roots of these particular issues. We're focusing on things that have no real significance at all. Black T says, okay, but for white people. Okay, I mean, whatever you say, Black T. Tell me this though. Did I say anything that was correct? I mean, that was incorrect. Tell me the lie that I said. If I'm lying, you let me know where I lied at, and then I'll fix it. I'll apologize. I'll say you're right and I'm wrong. If I can be proven to be a liar, then you tell me where I lied. I'll go back and correct it, and you get my apology. If I'm not lying, then none of what you say about caping for this, caping for that even matters. The truth is the truth, regardless of what. Thank you to Hollow 502 who says, would they call me a white supremacist if I use the okay hand gesture, even though I'm a black man? I mean, at this particular point in time, Hollow, I can't even call it, man. They might. I mean, they call Candace Owens a white supremacist just for saying that the black family is stronger together with a man and a woman in the house. Oh, you're a white supremacist. Really? So I can't even call it, man. Nowadays, I mean, you get called things that don't make any sense. You know, people like Bruce Jenner get called Caitlyn. So I don't know what's going on. I'm just saying. Thank you to Bones who says backwards, this is Oathkeeper. Didn't know that. But thank you for that. Most certainly appreciate it. Okay. Mick Mac says I'm deflecting, not lying. Black T says I did not say you were lying. Okay, if I'm not lying, then what you're saying does not matter. All the insults are irrelevant for telling the truth. The truth defends itself. You know, why would you attack a person for telling the truth? That's what happened to Candace Owens when she went to the Revolt Summit. People in the audience booing and jeering for no reason other than the fact she's conservative. She got on there and said nothing but the truth. No lies, all facts, 1,000% facts. But she gets booed and jeered. They probably would have threw tomatoes if they had them because she's conservative. That is the only reason why I get attacked is because I'm conservative. I could say the same thing as a liberal and get praise. Simple. You know, like that's my whole thing. One thing I learned to do when I became conservative is just, you know, look at things for what they are. Just look at the world for what it is. Take off these lenses of partisanship and just look at the world for what it is. And once you do that, you understand that the truth is the truth regardless. It doesn't even really matter who gets offended. It doesn't matter why you said it, when you said it. It don't matter. It's just truth. Nothing else matters. If it's true, it's true. If it's false, it's false. If I'm lying, I'm flying. But you see, I'm still right here in my seat. So it is what it is. But thank you all for being here. I definitely appreciate you. Please give the video a thumbs up if you like what you're hearing so far. Shout out to OMG WTF. It says, did I buy the broomstick? I guess you mean the boomstick, the shotgun I had. No, I didn't buy that. I just had it. I was at an air show in Virginia Beach. You know, like a bunch of jets and stuff. And that was a great air show, by the way. But my man had this little corner where he had like his gun collection. He had some rifles and some more stuff in there. So I just picked up the shotgun to, you know, to see how it would feel. And it felt great. I think it was a Mossberg. It felt great. But I did not buy it. That was my man's personal collection. Okay. But thank you all for being here. I definitely appreciate you guys for joining the chat. But yeah, anybody in the chat that disagrees with what I'm saying, please feel free to call. What's that? Mig Mac. Leave your call the number when I get the lines open and leave your area code in the chat so I know who you are. You know. I'm deflecting. What am I deflecting? Deflecting. I'm just telling the truth. If I'm lying, then I'm lying. If I'm not, then I'm not. NKM says, how many boxes did it weigh? That was hilarious. What was that? Sheila Jackson. What's the lady's name? Sheila Jackson Lee. I think that's who it is. Talking about, the AR-15 weighs as much as 10 boxes. Yeah. She says the AR-15 is as heavy as 10 boxes and they fire 50 caliber bullets. Now, I want to know how much does a box weigh? Are you talking about, is it metric? imperial. Like, what are we talking about here? I'm trying to figure out the unit of measurement that a box is. That's something new to me. I've heard of pounds, ounces, grams, kilograms, but a box, that's something totally brand new. I mean, she's an innovator if that's a real actual unit of measurement. I've not heard about that before, but hey, learn something new every day. It is what it is. It was a Remington. Okay, Maverick. Good money. Yeah, but Shirley Jackson leaves crazy. Like, I don't even, why would you, 10 boxes that you would move? It's like, I could have anything in the moving box. I could have pillows, blankets, or I could have, free weights in there. It's so silly. Yeah, a 50 cal, I mean, if you fire a 50 cal bullet from your shoulder, get all of this right here would be gone. All of this right here would be hamburger meat, really. If I'm not mistaken, if wrong, let me know. But yeah, them bullets are like that. Them bullets are like that, man. Yeah, the IQ is nowhere. The IQ is, I mean, we talking about single digits. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I saw Tatum's video, some of it. Shout out to my man Brandon Tatum. Hilarious video. Yeah, I've had an AR-15. And it's not really heavy. No, 30 cubits. Yeah, what's that? During the 1804 it says, yeah, 50 caliber cartridge is like the size of a magic marker. That's humongous. That is very big. Bone says, I'm considered a sellout Puerto Rican in the 3%. Hey man, join the club, man. We're all sellouts. We're all racist. We're all sellouts, even though we just want the best for our country and our families. So, hey, if I get called a sellout or Uncle Tom or whatever for wanting the best for my country, for my fellow U.S. citizens, and for myself and for my family, then so be it. It is what it is. It is what it is. Thank you, Rad Girl. I appreciate it. 50 caliber airsoft. Oh man, a 50 caliber airsoft, man. Like that thing, it'll fall totally apart. That ain't nothing but a bomb. You couldn't even, it wouldn't even really be. Let me see here. Okay, I think I got everybody. I appreciate you guys for being here. Hey, I'm right there with you, Action News Network. I'm a racist, sellout black guy. That's me. That is me. But what else we got here? Did I cover everything before we get to the calls? Oh, the political kids, right quick before we get to the calls. Now, have you guys seen the way that the climate change activist, quote unquote, Greta Thunberg is being shielded by the media? If you say anything about her at all, even on Fox, my man Michael Knowles said that she was mentally ill, which was a fact, according to her own mother, who wrote a book about her. She said that she has 4 mental disorders or illnesses, whatever you want to call them. Asperger's is a form of autism, depression, selective mutism, and what was it? One more, depression, something else. It was one more thing. Oh, OCD. You have all these things going on, according to your own mother. He says what it is, says she's mentally ill, which is correct according to her mom. And then they're like, oh, that was a disgusting statement. We can't. But Nick Salmon, people like Bakari Sellers, who I think is in government, and from wrong, let me know in the comments below. This guy, as an elected official, says he'd like to punch Nick Salmon in his face. Now, Greta Thunberg is 16 years old, and at the time, my man Nick Salmon was also 16 years old. So it's different standards here. One person you got to shield. You say anything about her, even if it's true, it's, you get reprimanded, you get sent to the gulag, make big rocks, little rocks. But if you say you want to punch somebody that happens to be on the right wearing their MAGA hat, the same age, oh, that's okay, that's fine. There ain't nothing really wrong with that. You keep your job and it's all good. Matter of fact, they put Bakari Sellers on this show with, I think, April Ryan. Who else? What's the Angela Rye and somebody else? They put him on the show on CNN to talk about things like this, to disrespect people like myself and many others. But see, that's the double standard that we got going on here. People say, oh, you're paranoid, ABL. I can't tell. I see things like this every day. That's pretty much how that goes. It is what it is. Oh, and then, oh yeah, now shout out to Minnie AOC. Remember Minnie AOC? Minnie AOC was 8 years old, and she was basically removed or ran off of social media by the trolls, talking about, oh, we're gonna hurt you, we're gonna kill you. They threatened her, they doxed her, all that kind of. But you see, I'm glad she's back now. I'm glad she didn't just move away and just never come back. I'm glad she's back making that good content. And if you guys don't know who Minnie AOC is, she's a little girl. At the time when she came out, she was 8. She may be 9 now, but she kind of does like a mock impersonation of AOC. It's hilarious, fantastic. People threaten her, threaten to kill her. They call her family on their cell phone, all that kind of stuff. So all this about protecting kids, and you can't talk to kids any kind of way, and it's child abuse, all this, that, and the third. They don't say that when it comes to kids that happen to be on the right or that appear to lean like they're right. If you want to poke fun at AOC as a little kid, then you get, I wouldn't even care if it was a person that were doing it for Trump. You can have a little kid impersonating Trump. That's fine. Hey, go do what you want to do. It's all good. It's fun. It's jokes. I might laugh at it if it's funny. And it ain't going to hurt nobody or nothing. Yeah, she is back, David Ray, 100%. She came back, I think, probably a few days ago. Yeah, 100%. So she's back. Exactly, Thor Larson. Mini AOC is smarter than the actual AOC. Yeah, I want to see if AOC gets reelected because I think that was kind of a fluke. People got kind of caught off guard. Here comes this person that looks young and spry, got a little bit of money behind them. See, the whole purpose of AOC getting elected was like it's a movie. It's a Netflix film coming out. It might actually be out already, called Taking Down the House. What's the name of the group they have? It's a group that is funded by Cenk Uygur of Young Turks and some other people. I forget the name of the group, but you guys know in the chat. But they funded this little documentary, and they were following her and some other people, but some women to get into Congress. They're putting money behind them and a lot of attention, media, all that kind of stuff behind them. Now that she's been in there for a while, will she get reelected? That's going to be the test. That's going to be the big time test. I would tell the other guy that was in there, Joe Crowley, to run again and see if he can beat her. I think he might be able to, Yeah, I see people talking about people on me. I don't worry about that. I worry about real things that matter. All right. Thank you to 647 Lapua. I know butchered that. I'm sorry. Who says, thanks for keeping it real. Hey, no problem. That's my job to keep it all the way real all the time. Thank you to Faith Jones, who says, salute. Well, thank you for your donation. I appreciate you for that. Salute right back at you. Yeah, I told I tore his into pieces. I'm sorry. I'm not really good with new names I don't recognize. Thank you to Deep Field Center Press, who says, we sell out, gotta stick together. Keep spitting the truth. Hey, will do, man. Thank you for your donation and your very kind words. I most certainly appreciate you. Thank you to my man, Matthew Richardson, who says, you had Joe Biden's shotty. Oh, thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Now, that was Dick Cheney's shotty when he shot that man in the head and didn't get in trouble for it. That was crazy. When I saw that, I was like, wow, okay, we see, you see how you can pretty much do whatever you want, which you get high up in government like that. You shoot somebody in the head and nothing happens. It's all good. Oh, my fault. Sorry. Matter of fact, it was so crazy that the guy got shot. It was an accident, yes, but the guy got on TV and apologized for making it be an inconvenience. How did you get shot by accident and then you apologize to the world talking about, well, I'm sorry, it's kind of an inconvenience to everybody? That was crazy, but hey, it is what it is. Let me see. Bone says, how do you qualify to talk to you over the phone? My phone lines are totally open. Not right now. I'm opening it right in a minute, but I don't block anybody from my call. I want it to be open forum. I like to have debates. I like to have good conversation with people that I agree with, disagree with, whatever. It's anybody. Yeah, that's one thing. One rule I have on the phone calls, please don't curse. This is a family-friendly show. If you notice, I don't curse on any of my videos at all because I want kids to be able to watch. I want you to be able to see it with your whole family. You can sit down with your husband, your wife, and you got your kids. They can be little kids, 5, 6 years old, babies, whatever. You can feel safe that you're not going to hear a bunch of foul language and stuff like that. It'll be above board, not even necessarily even inappropriate humor. I try to keep everything above board, but at the same time entertaining and thoughtful. So that's kind of how I try to carry my show. Taz says, you want debates with anyone but me. But see, the thing about this, Taz, is that I do not need to debate you. You need to debate me. See, I'm not going to call your show or go over to your platform because I have no reason to. It won't benefit me. If you want to call in and debate me, you're more than welcome. But you got to get in line with everybody else. What makes you special above anybody else in the chat? You know, I treat everybody the same. There's no favoritism. It is what it is. But I'm going to open up the phone line. So, Taz, if you want to call in, you're more than welcome, boss. You know, I try to get you in as soon as I can, but if I can't, it is what it is. All right. And the number to call, if anybody doesn't know, is 434-658-1220. And if you want to get in through Skype and be there right at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, there's an email for that in the description box below. All right. Let me go ahead and get myself together over here. Just to make sure everything's on the up and up. Let me see. Speakers. All right. No, Lil King, what's going on?
Hey man, not much. How are you?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
Okay, awesome, man. Man, you know the Democrats. You know who they remind me of?
Who's that?
They remind me of Maple Leaf fans, man.
now,
It
how so?
doesn't matter. Yeah, the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's who they remind me. It doesn't matter how much this team loses. They keep pumping money into it. They keep going to the games. It's like you guys are backing a losing horse, you know?
Right. Yeah, I feel
That's
you on that.
Like I can't believe this stuff with Biden. Like there's a whole controversy about Trump having a political video. It's essentially Biden admitting to what he's doing. And they're saying, oh, it's propaganda, it's lies. Trump didn't put any spin on it. It's Biden being an idiot and admitting what he did.
Right. Basically, I mean, and then the crazy part about it is he said it like it was no big deal. It was no problem. And I was looking at the other people on stage and their body language. They were trying to like get away from him, trying to like to distance themselves. Like, I don't know about that one. But the media didn't really say anything because they wanted to protect him. But people that understand, that are not blinded by partisanship, they understand that was crazy.
Yeah, like I've been reading a leftist article. I'm not sure how many leftist articles you read, but it's very tough to go through. So basically the whole article is just saying it's a lie. It's not explaining why it's a lie until the last paragraph where it says he didn't fire the prosecutor because the prosecutor was looking into his son. He fired the prosecutor because the prosecutor was blocking some other anti-corruption cases, right? But then the coincidence is just way too high. You see how much Biden's son was getting paid. Like, and the thing is, this stuff works. There's so many people falling for it. I can't believe, like I read the comments, I see the thousands of people on Twitter, they just eat this stuff up. They can be lied to and just take it. I don't get it. Like I've honestly given up with these kind of people, man.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you, but that's the power of the media. They make you believe certain things are just not true. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's like you look in Canada, what's happening with Trudeau. Cities like Toronto and Vancouver, a lot of them still want Trudeau, and then you look at the other side, it's the opposite. Where you look at Alberta, or you know what I mean, places that are more rural or aren't so urban as Toronto. And that that Greta girl, she sat down with Trudeau. I'm not sure if you heard about this.
I did not hear about that.
Yeah, she was scolding him because Trudeau's plan is to plant 1 billion trees to help the environment, and she was telling him that's not enough.
1 billion trees not enough. I mean, like,
Yeah.
you got to have 1 trillion. Just go to this the ultimate amount of trees. Like, what's going to be enough for this person? I don't get it.
Well, the thing is, right after the interview, she put a tweet up saying Trudeau agreed to build a pipeline, right? And they don't understand. They're so idealist that they don't understand these countries need to run. They need an economy. We can't just destroy everything. We can't destroy automotive things. We can't get rid of our pipelines just so that everybody can hold hands and, I don't know, eat soy. I don't know what kind of world these guys expect to have.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's unrealistic, but at the end of the day, I think it's all about just trying to get that money. This is the Al Gore hustle. I heard that Al Gore was worth $300 million from doing what?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about him being any kind of innovator like a Mark Zuckerberg or somebody like that. He's just a guy that is a climate change patron saint. That's going to be Greta Thunberg here pretty soon.
Yeah, well, they were wrong about the acid rain. They were wrong about the hole in the ozone. But hey, maybe they'll be right about this. You never know.
Exactly.
Well, man, it was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, take care.
All right, thank you to my man Nolo King for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Thank you all for joining. I definitely appreciate you. The number to call is 434-658-1220. All right, call you on the line, 702. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Mark.
Mark, what's going on, man?
Hey, nothing much. Good to talk to you after so long. I do catch all your replays and everything like that, and I like that you maintain your independence. You know, I don't blame anybody for selling out for top dollar, but, you know, to accuse an independent person of being a sellout is not right. The person who's the sellout is Biden. I mean, when when Ukraine and China is making you and your family billionaires, that's selling out, and that's who they work for, and Harry Reid as well. Harry Reid was willing to kill cowboys in the desert, slaughter them all so that China could, like, mine some minerals from our earth. And that's selling out. That's what the real sellout is. It's got to get through the heads of your listeners. But I wanted to piggyback on what Nolo King was saying about Greta going up to Trudeau in Canada.
Right.
Did you happen to see the girl from the 90s giving almost the same speech that Greta gave?
No, who was that? Was that Alyssa Milano?
No, this was from like 1992.
Oh no! Oh yeah. I did see that. Like it was the old video clip. I saw that. Yep.
Yeah, and her name was Severn Suzuki, and she's basically like a Eurasian, and she was trying to like portray herself. You know, the conference was in Rio, and she was like trying to almost portray herself as some kind of like Amazonian woman or something. But anyway, I guess her dad is a big academic in Canada. And she went on, so she gave the same kind of act, the same portrayal as Greta did, and very much the same speech where she talked about, a couple of points on the stock market when our earth is being burnt to a crisp. And, she went on to Yale. She went to Yale, and then she's had like a life of privilege. There are interviews with her now on like Democracy Now! And things like that.
Wow. So this is somebody that they kind of like put into like a high level position, an important person.
Yeah. Well, just a high-level position, an important person, but she was a child actor, went right into academia. Her dad was a big academic, and they're all a part of this like climate thing, which is like if Al Gore gets his way with the $1 billion carbon credits, it's no different than Wall Street. Who are they kidding? It's the same thing. It's just a heist. It's stealing money. And how you said in your opening monologue about how, we're trying to get away from the Cindy McCain military-industrial complex being this warmonger party?
Yep.
Well, the climate thing is just basically the Middle East of the environment, only it's the entire thing's a hoax. They'll put up some trees, maybe some windmills that do nothing, and then they'll pocket tons of money off the taxpayer. And Pakistan's prime minister is out there, and for good reason. He's right. He's like mocking the fact that while China has developed infrastructure, New York has bumpy roads, and the USA wasted not billions but trillions of dollars in the Middle East. And we have nothing to show for it. We have no wall. We have an open borders. We have a diluted population. We have standardized scores that go down every single year. Drug addicts and junkie rates that rise. And one person was even making jokes that while India's leader Modi is bragging about all the bathroom stalls and sanitation and toilets he's building in India, our cities like Seattle and Los Angeles and San Francisco are descending into like feces avenues,
We're going the wrong direction. It's like, okay, India, they had a big problem with the street defecation because they just, it's part of their culture. They just go in the airport, do right on the ground, everybody baggage claim. It'd be a pile of garbage, a pile of crap right by the baggage claim. Now they're trying to clean all that up. They're trying to, become civilized in some of these areas. But we're going the opposite direction. You got these dope fiends out here defecating right on the ground, and there's no problem. And we just create apps to say, hey, don't step right there in the doo-doo. Step around it.
Right. And yeah, it's depressing. And think about where the money could have gone. China is like, they got everything is brand spanking new. It's mint condition, postmodern, futuristic land. And we have poop streets, and we're becoming India, while India is becoming what America used to be in terms of like they're cleaning up what the East is rising and we're going down, and that was all predicted by globalism, But just to point it out, it seems like even to point out the obvious and speak the truth now, you get vilified for, you know what I mean? And also, did you see that Greta got the alternative Nobel Peace Prize and won $100,000?
I did not see that, but I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised because, I know what it was from the beginning. As soon as I saw her, I was like, okay, money grab. And then I saw her parents. I'm like, big time money grab, because that book that was written about her before she kind of became popular had her mother on the front cover. It's like, okay, why is your mom on the front cover of a book about you? I see the game that's being played here. It's just trying to, get some money jumping. Her mom was a celebrity. She was an opera singer. Her father's been involved. Her grandfather's been involved. This is all a game.
Yeah. You know what this is? It really is not only is it all a game, but they write these books. You know what it really is it's along with the people who worked for the military-industrial complex that stole trillions of dollars, they pocketed the money. It's socialism in our caste system. We live in a caste system. Like another one who also wrote a climate book is JFK's granddaughter is named Tatiana Schlossberg. And she's writing these climate hoax books. And so, these families, they write these books. Nobody buys these books. And it's almost like they do this charade work. And then where does their, income come from to sustain their lifestyles? It probably comes from frivolous wars, and now it's going to come from frivolous climate. And it's almost like you have these charade intellects, charade people that never had to really produce anything, but they're like, hey, I wrote a book, or hey, I went to an Ivy League school, or hey, I'm a professor. So you have to validate my existence. But as for you, you get to live in poop streets and live in chicken coops and eat bugs while we write climate books that nobody buys because nobody can read. And that sustains our lifestyle, And the thing about Greta is like, listen, I'm a big fan of I don't know what your favorite movie is, but one of mine was Forrest Gump. And it's like, I've seen this movie before. I've seen the mentally deficient person get involved in politics and say profound things. And to see Greta get paid $100,000, that's like Hillary Clinton or Obama giving a speech after they're out of office, or when they're in office even, and getting like $50K a speech, $100K a speech. But nobody elected Greta. And if you say word round about her, you'll have even people on the right or libertarians will try to say things like, what type of a human being are you to attack such a child with a mental condition? I don't want to be associated with you. And just because you're working, nobody owes you a living, puny American, as you have to take on 3 or 4 other jobs and we're cutting your hours and cutting your benefits. What have you done to improve your quote-unquote skill set? Well, listen, I'm not going to curse, but what skill set does Greta have, as she has $100,000 for giving a 3-minute speech, all expenses paid, travel around the world, on Time magazine cover, en route to an Ivy League school, getting interviewed by Trevor Noah? It's like, what happens when we go to South Africa and get interviewed? We get hacked with machetes. You know, you know what I mean? Like, I just wonder what goes through Trevor Noah's mind as she's talking to this girl. He's probably like, she wouldn't last 5 minutes in Johannesburg downtown.
Oh no, not at all.
Why is she a celebrity in America? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, but for them to like use her as like almost like a child shield, you know how they use child shields, and they'll hide behind. Oh, she's got pigtails. Let me hide behind her polka dot dress.
That's definitely a human shield at this particular point in time.
Yeah, and just the fact that they've run the pattern over and over again using these girls, and meanwhile their future is set, and the real worker. You know, trillions of dollars stolen as our infrastructure falls apart. The hoax is going to be the same thing. All our money fleeced from us, and we're told, oh yeah, your skill set. Oh yeah, you know, eat bugs. Well, it's like, you know, don't say word one about this mental condition chick who's going to be Ivy League actor for life, selling books, total media fanfare. Like she's like, it's like she's Matt Damon. She's bigger than Matt Damon or something. You know what I mean? She's bigger than, like, you know, Kevin Hart, and it's like you know, what has she done? But anyway, I'm a little bit triggered and babbling, but yeah, I'm with you. Just to go out, you know, the people of California, you know, people can say all these things, but I just feel that they got it on lock, like, you know, Pelosi, the McCains, like you said, how Pelosi and these other people, McCain squats in office for life. John McCain was in there, you know, he was falling apart.
We got time.
You got it, sir. Thank you for your time. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye.
Thanks to my man Mark for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And thank you all for being here. Definitely appreciate you as well. Please like the video if you've not done so already. And please share the video. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Hit the subscribe button. Also hit the bell right beside it. Click that bell so you get notified when I go live or post a new video. I definitely appreciate you if you did that. 239, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 239.
Hello?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I just missed you. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, caller, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Brian? I'm sorry. It's just I'm watching your YouTube channel, and it was lagging pretty much. I'm sorry. I'm not the most eloquent speaker, but I do have a few concerns I would like to talk to you about.
All right, go for it.
Well, first of all, I'm Bones. Like I always send super chats. I love supporting your channel because I kind of feel the same as you, because I am Puerto Rican, even though I don't sound it, even though most of my family sounds like me when they speak Spanish. But anyway, besides that, I'm kind of lost because I'm kind of weird because I can't hear anything. Well, anyway,
but before you go on, if you have the stream on at the same time, just go ahead and turn it off because it will be a delay. So don't even pay that in any mind.
Okay, that's what was going on.
Okay,
right,
gotcha.
All right, I kind of remember when I was a child, back in I think it was the early '90s, when McDonald's used to sell the trees with the Happy Meals. I don't know if you remember that, because they were trying to recuperate the trees in the Amazon rainforest because of the beef they were purchasing from South America. Do you remember that?
Hold on, they were selling like seeds for trees to plant, like real seeds?
No, they were selling, not selling, they were giving you trees to plant.
Wow.
If you purchased a certain meal. And it always cracked me up because of all this whole Amazon thing started taking back up just recently. I was like, oh my God, this happened like 20, 25 years ago. And I always found it very funny. But what's very awkward for me, I'm going to go on a different slant here, is that me being Puerto Rican, I was actually raised there. You know, I was born in Puerto Rico. I came back to the States. Well, I went to the States. I was raised in the States. And every time I would go to Puerto Rico, it was always good and whatever. And recently, every time I would go there, everybody would look at me with this hatred, and it was very awkward to me. But it was very unusual. I don't know. And which leads me to the Facebook thing about the bowl cut. I remember seeing a post during the 2016 election cycle when they were trying to attribute the bowl cut to Hitler. They were saying this military medium fade was because means you were a racist because it was done from Hitler, but no, it's a military cut. And I was in the military for 15 odd years. I actually had to get out because I got disabled, and but it always cracked me up. I was like, I can't believe I'm seeing this, and then when I heard Donald Trump saying fake news or whatever, I tell you the truth, I hated the guy when he first started running, but I had to swallow a freaking huge red pill once he started, because sometimes I don't believe in this 4D or 5D chess fiasco, but I believe that sometimes he should know better than to get everybody riled up. And then again, it does make sense when he does it, because I don't know. And I don't know. Which leads to the deep state type issues that he's being spied upon, that it looks like people that's been in government for years and years and years, and it's always the same families you always hear, and they're always pulling in the same people for the last 50 years. They're pulling in the same people to work for them as advisors, as people in their cabinet, as ambassadors. They're always the same people, and it's kind of building a political class which is truly ruining our country.
Well, see, the thing about it, I gotta say one thing about that. The thing about it is it's kind of it's a weird thing, because you want to have people that have experience and know what they're doing. You don't want to
exactly.
but at the same time, you don't want to have, like you said, just kind of like this ruling class that can't be infiltrated, if that makes any sense. That's why I think it's
totally.
It's appropriate to have term limits at a certain point. People in Congress, I mean, if you've been there for like
we're
30,
the same language.
Yeah, 30, 40 years, it's like, okay, let somebody else get in there and gain some experience so they can, maybe do something different, do something better.
Mm-hmm.
People like Elijah Cummings, you've been in there for like 30 years with no change. It's like, okay, what's really going on here? Can we do something else,
But it's just like Pelosi, Nadler, everyone else has been in there for a while, and that's just representatives. I'm talking about the people that are actually in government that aren't elected. They actually get put in positions of power, which is disgusting. There should be a term limit for people that work for government that aren't elected. And I totally believe in term limits, but they would never vote for it. And it's quite disgusting.
Right.
Oh, and one more thing before you let me go, because right. I know this is coming to an end. The red flag laws are totally unconstitutional, because first, it goes against your First Amendment right, because if you would say something off, somebody would take it wrong, and you get red flag. Goes against the second, because then they'll take away your gun. Goes against the fourth, because search and seizures. It goes against the fifth, because you can't plead the fifth, and then it goes against the ninth, which means new laws can't be formed because of new technology, and the 14th due process, which I really agree with. But anyway, that's about it.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, dude. I'm sorry. I'm a little buzzed, and I wasn't expecting to reach you.
That's all good, man. Appreciate your call.
I appreciate you, buddy. Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And thank you all for being here. Most certainly appreciate you as well. Let me get to my next call. 718, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes, who am I speaking to?
Yeah, how you doing? This is Patrick from Brooklyn. How you doing, Anthony Bryan?
Everything is great, man. About yourself?
Very well, very well. Enjoying the nice brisk weather out here on the East Coast.
No doubt, absolutely.
I listened to your last caller, and he's spot on with a lot of things there, especially the term limits.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a school of thought that, we have to force this issue. We always let the politicians that run dictate what they want to do. You know, we need these open forums, and people aren't really encouraged or allowed to voice what they want. It's always what the politicians want to run, like what they want to run on. For example, we wouldn't have been talking about immigration or unfair trade if Trump didn't bring those issues up. Plain and simple. Plain and simple.
Exactly.
Because they don't want to talk about that stuff because it goes against what they want to do, you know? And every now and then you'll hear them chirp about it. Term limits this, term limits that, but, you know, nothing serious is ever brought to the floor, you know. They never make legislation for it ever, you know, in the House. And, you know, and you got, like you said, Cummings. What was the last guy just retired? He was there for 50 years. The guy looked like a mummy. I forgot his name, but he was there forever.
Right.
You know, and what do these people do? You know, you listen to them talk. You know, I could rattle off all the usual suspects, you know, Pelosi, Schumer, Nadler, Cummings, Jeffries, which is my guy. He's a trip. Island tipping over Johnson. I mean, the list goes on and on. They're just, you know, their positions and the way they speak is just, it's nonsensical, some of the stuff they say, you know, and it's like they're living in a different world. They have no idea what regular people are going through, you know, how tough it is to make a living, you know. Yeah, I'm a married man. I pulled down some good bucks, and my wife's been working for the last 20 years, and she has a good salary too. And let me tell you something. You know, we're barely making it here in Brooklyn. I mean, it's ridiculous that the housing market is just, it's out of control. And I think that's one of the reasons why they want to keep the border open too, because it props up that housing market. You know, the Fed, if those banks collapse, they can't have it, so they keep the pressure up through the demand. You know, and it keeps the pricing here in Brooklyn. You get a studio apartment in a non-desirable area like a Brighton Beach, you know, which is like, you know, it's not the greatest area, you know, and it's like $2,500 for a one-bedroom apartment a month.
Wow. You
know, I don't know how people can afford this stuff. You know, it's crazy. You know, but yeah, it's just out of control, man. But I'm totally on board with that term limits. That's something that's got to be done. You know, we got to press that issue somehow, man. You know, you got a little format here. You know, you're doing good, and maybe you should bring it up a little bit more often too, man. You know, because it's so important. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely, it definitely is for sure.
Yeah, and if we get that done, you know, we can get a lot of other things done. I also believe that they ought to stop with with worrying about so much what people do on the outside. Excuse me, Con, I'm busy. Be right back, buddy. Con, I'm on the phone. I'm right there. Sorry about that. Somebody just walked in.
Gotcha.
You know, untimely visit. My son just popped in. But where was I? I was talking about term limits, and yeah, I just lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Well, I forgot. But anyway, it don't matter. You get the drift, man. We really need to limit the time these people spend in it. Oh, I remember what it was, about people making money on the outside. I mean, they're so worried about this stuff, but it's really not. It's not that important.
Now, when you say that, what do you mean by on the outside? What do you mean by that?
Well, like, look at Trump. You know, in my personal opinion was he's sent by God, because when you think about it, nobody else could have accomplished what he did. The man could not be bought, right? He happened to be, you know, very level-headed and common sense, which that's the definition of conservatism to me, is people just have common sense, think through problems like yourself, and come out with the truth. And that's the opinion. And there was really nobody else around that fit that criteria at this time. And after he's gone, I don't see it happen again. We're probably going to go right back to the usual politicians. What I mean by that is we need, like in the beginning, we had a lot of doctors in Congress, and, you know, educated people, you know, engineers, people that made money on the outside and were allowed to legislate, you know, government on the inside. You know, so the separation of money from government compared to the corruption that goes on from foreign governments, I don't think is that important. I just want good, intelligent people that don't have an axe to grind through the federal government making money on their own. To me, that makes more sense. What do you think about that?
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, because people are relying upon the government. That's like their job. That's what they do. That's what they contribute to the world. Now, it's nothing wrong with, you know, making a salary as somebody that's in government, you know, whatever. But at a certain point, you should be able to bring more maybe to the world. You know, that shouldn't be your bread and butter, because, like you said, if you're going to have term limits, then what else are you going to be doing with your life? You got to be able to do something else.
Exactly.
Yep. So that's pretty much it, man. So I thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
All right, man. Very good. Keep it up. You're doing great work. I appreciate you. Love your show, man. Be well.
All right, thank you for the call.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, definitely, man. Get them turn limits going, and we can just get it moving like that for sure. And thank you all for joining. The number to call is 434-658-1220. I find it funny that I've not had any calls from the trolls that were in the chat earlier, but that's always the case. Hey, ABL, I know what you're talking about. You're Uncle Tom, but they never call in to express themselves. That's funny. But let me get to the next call. All right, Matt, what's going on?
Hey, what's happening, Anthony? How you doing?
Everything's great, man. Can't complain.
Yeah, on term limits, they had to do a constitutional amendment for president after FDR. I think it was like it was like 22 or 23 Second Amendment. They put term limits in.
Okay.
In every politician, I'm a politician, but every politician campaigns on term limits, and none of them do it once they get there.
Right.
I mean, every one of them agrees there should be some when they're trying to get in, but it's a classic velvet rope syndrome that when I get on that side of that velvet rope, I'll put once I'm on that side, I won't let anybody else in. I'm okay with people being on the outside of the rope.
Right, that's pretty much how it is.
Yeah. There's a weird thing going on with environmentalism. I call it branch Algorian, like branch Davidian.
You're correct. You are correct. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a religion at this point.
Yeah, it's very religious, and I think you're actually going to see suicide pacts. I make this prediction that you're going to see environmental suicide pacts, and kids. I mean, not to be macabre, kids will do this. I think you're going to see charismatic Jonestown-esque suicide pacts where people are going to kill themselves to save the environment.
Now, you're right. You're right, because you already have politicians basically saying it but not saying it. People like AOC talking about, well, maybe we should have less kids. I'm seeing this going on, and then I'm seeing regular normies repeating it. They're repeating it, talking about don't bring any kids in the world. It's too many people in the world. And then I saw Kamala Harris have to console somebody that was crying, face full of tears, talking about, I don't want to die. So it's coming. Like, we're just now getting into the beginning of mainstream media and politicians really pushing this whole climate change, fear-mongering thing in a real way, like on social media and everything else. So as we get deeper into it, and a lot of these kids that are growing up right now, suicide pacts is going to be next.
Yeah, it's pretty irresponsible for people to go around preaching end times. I don't think it is child abuse, I think, in my opinion. But Greta Thunberg is 16. I joined the Air Force at 16, so I actually don't see her as a child.
Right.
It's sort of that transitioning period, but maybe because of her sicknesses, her illnesses. Maybe people should treat her as a kid from that perspective. But in terms of some of the propaganda, I wrote this one down. That Reddit convinced ladies to free bleed, to not use sanitary napkins, and a bunch of women actually did it.
They did it, yeah.
And we were talking about the OK symbol and that kind of stuff. I think the Bloods is like this, right? I mean, am I doing it right?
Yeah, that's one of them. But the blood gang is also just a B, just like that's just the OK, but it's like a B. So that one is right, but it's also just a B too.
Yeah, and not that I want to get shot or nothing.
Right, nah.
Any of these guys, you do you. I don't want to get in trouble for throwing up a gang sign, but I think this was actually a prank. I think it was
a prank. Yes, it was a prank.
Yeah,
and Reddit, and they said the reason they did it was 4chan, matter of fact. They said the reason that they did it was just to troll the media, and then the media picked up on it. They actually were successful in doing what they said they were going to do. Like they said, we were going to troll the media, and the media picked up on it regardless.
Yeah, and there's a lot of this going on, and one that caused a short circuit in people recently, which I find really interesting, is there's one going around called Islam is Right About Women.
I saw like a headline about that, but I've not looked into it. I've seen that though.
Someone took the "It's okay to be white" and they started printing out Islam is right about women and putting it around, and it's absolutely short-circuiting people. I mean, it is people are calling the police. Can't explain why. Why, for the love of Allah, that it's wrong or bad or whatever.
See,
And
my thing is this. Okay, it kind of puts people in a weird situation, doesn't it? Because I thought Islam, that was the religion of brown people, and if you say anything about Islam, you're racist and you're Islamophobic, you're sexist, you're homophobic, all these different things, all these other obes in this, all right? So if you have a sign that says Islam is right about women, then what are you really going to say if that's you that believes in Islam being some kind of brown religion that if you say anything about, you're a racist? How does that really work?
Yeah, I live in a very progressive suburb of Seattle, and there was a man that parked his car. He had a G-Wagon, and he had women in full burqas get out and walk behind him from a different car too.
Wow!
And he paraded them down our street, and I've never seen like this juxtaposition of
it's just frozen. They're frozen because
everybody froze.
Yeah.
I mean, like I was trying to snap a picture of it with my camera, but he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He was showing them off his ponies, and it was crazy. And then this, I want to leave you with this. You have such a great following. I think your channel should be seen by everybody. I want to invite you out to Washington State for our Lincoln Day dinner, maybe as a speaker or something like that. I'll get a hold of you later about that. But if you can find some followers, there's these deep fakers that are out there where they're making deep fake videos. If someone could please, for the love of all that is good, take Adam Schiff's script that he made and make a Trump deep fake where Trump is actually saying it. That would be absolutely brilliant. And then somehow, again, troll the media and those people that are in the know that Trump is actually doing these things. Maybe put Trump in blackface or something. Do something like that. Please, right. Internet 4chan.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. But thanks a lot, and keep doing the great show, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah. Yeah, cheers.
All right. Thanks to my man Matt for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Let me get to my next call here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. If you want to get in through Skype like my man Matt was in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, there's an email for that in the description box below. I think it says Skype email if you want to do that. But let me get to my next call. 719, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
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 Yes, who am I speaking to?
Stephanie from Colorado.
All right, what's going on?
Nothing. Enjoying your show. I was just wondering if I could make just a quick statement. It won't take very long, and there's no dirty words in it.
Okay, before you do, turn your speakers down in the background for me, please.
Everything's off.
All righty, good money, so go for it.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you well. Go for it.
Okay. Make no mistake, Trump is your first and last warning to you, the corrupt government of America. We will no longer go quietly into the night. We have sent our fathers, our mothers, our sons, and our daughters to die on foreign soil. We have turned the soil red with the blood of Americans to ensure our right of freedom. We do not go out and shoot up schools, churches, and Walmarts. We stay in the shadows quietly in the hope that one day this corrupt government will be brought to its knees. We watch our laws be twisted into something we don't recognize. We have now come out of the shadows in the tens of thousands. We show you that America belongs to we the people. It seems to be something you have forgot. We will no longer sit by and watch you take our rights away and twist our laws to suit you. The sad thing is, before this is over, I think we will have to see our own soil run red with the blood of more Americans once again. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Very well said.
Thank you. You have a wonderful evening. I really enjoy your show.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate her. A very good statement. And thank you all for being here. I appreciate you all. And you guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Let me get to the next call here. All right, call you on the line, 857. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, this is Ivan from Boston. You know that. Hey. Well, I think this is the end of Trump presidency, as you know it.
Oh, is that right? Why you feel that way?
Yeah, well, I mean, I know that your job is to provide entertainment or information. I understand that because you are not in the business of research and analysis. That's not your thing. Your thing is you get a lot of phone calls from different things. I understand, and you need to sell what in base of what your viewers, your listeners want. So you have to please.
That's your opinion, sir. But like, my question to you was, why do you think that Trump is done as a president?
Well, look, do you read the report from the whistleblower?
I've not seen it.
Well, you should see it. That's the first thing. That's what I'm saying. You are not in the business or information.
Sir, look. Okay, look. Okay, you've already said your piece about me. We know you think I'm all about entertainment, whatever. Okay, everybody knows that now from you. Now, my question to you, like I said, why do you think that Trump is done as a president?
Well, there's a couple of things. You watch or you follow. Like I was in.
Look, are you gonna talk about me or the president?
No, I'm going to talk about. I'm going to give you some graphs so you understand.
Just get to it. Just get to it. Don't get all day.
Okay, Nixon. If you look at Nixon, what happened through Nixon? How it was impeached. Something with low level thing, and Nixon got impeached.
Nixon. Wait, sir. Nixon did not get impeached.
Well, he quit before the impeachment.
Exactly. So he did not get impeached. Just get your facts right.
He didn't get impeached because he knew he was going to get impeached.
But listen. He did not get impeached. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
Thank you, sir. But move on.
He knew he was going to get impeached.
It doesn't matter. He didn't get impeached, though. But move on.
Okay, move on. Okay, so the whistleblower report to the acting director of the CIA. This is the CIA. This is the people that work for the country. They don't work for the president. You want to look at it that way because this is the people, they put their life on the line. They don't like the FBI that they got guns and they got badges and they got snitches. These are people that they way out there in different countries. Somebody died from the CIA, nobody will know. And the U.S. government can come forward and say, hey, give me that guy that died, or why you killed this guy? Why you killed this informant from the CIA or this spy? So their job is extremely highly sensitive. Watch PBS tomorrow. I watch CBS. CBS reported the former intelligence middle level management got a report from the whistleblower. He was telling me how they report information. He said this information came from a CIA analyst. They didn't come from some contractor. They didn't come from a law firm like Sean Hannity is saying. Came from a CIA analyst. The way that was described, the way that the paper was filed, came from a CIA analyst. Now, it was given to the acting director of the CIA that was appointed by Trump. So that means the acting CIA director must have listened to this tape because he said the information is credible. The way that the CIA works, on my understanding, that I've been watching, many years ago, the CIA don't work. Somebody come forward with some information because that's an opinion. I don't know. You remember the WMDs? We blame, and when the CIA, when the Bush administration blew her cover, nobody from the CIA come and say, "Hey, the president."
Ivan, you're getting off track. You gotta get back on track and answer the question.
No, I'm not getting off track. I'm trying to make you understand what's going on.
You're talking about. You went all the way back. You went all the way back to WMDs in Iraq.
No, but I'm trying to make you understand.
Sir. Listen. Stay on track and let's get to the question that I answered.
So you want me to move forward? This is a fact. Many people listen to this conversation credible. The president did it multiple times. CIA don't act in one isolated incident.
Okay, what did he do?
He spoke to. What do you mean he did? What did he do?
You said
he told the president of Ukraine, "Hey, find some there on Biden, blow it up, so when the election comes, I could win." Pretty much.
Is that what he said?
Well, I mean, why?
Okay. Is that what he said?
Okay, let me help you out. Biden is on the top of the of right now in the polls, right?
Oh yeah, he is.
Apparently, Biden is gonna be the nominee. I think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be Kamala Harris. I don't think it's gonna be Elizabeth Warren. I don't think it's gonna be what's the old guy? The other.
Okay, I understand that.
The Wall Street don't like those two guys because they're talking about punishing through taxes.
Okay, I gotta ask you a question, sir. I gotta ask you a question. Did you see Joe Biden? Did you see Joe Biden confess to basically extorting Ukraine for $1 billion to get the prosecutor fired? Did you see when he said that on TV?
I saw that. But
my follow up question would be: is that corrupt? What he did, is that corrupt?
That's unethical because that's for.
The question was it corrupt? Yes or no?
It's unethical.
Sir? I did not ask you if it was unethical. I asked you if it was corrupt. Yes or no question.
You want to call it corrupt? Yes, it's corrupt, but it's for political.
I'm asking you if it's corrupt.
For personal gain, not for political gain. That's the difference.
What? I mean, okay.
Political, personal gain. Okay,
he was a vice president. He was a vice president.
So that's personal gain. That's what I'm saying.
You're the vice president. It's political gain.
It's for personal gain. It's not for political gain. Political gain.
What personal gain?
Put at risk national security is a problem because now that means that if Ukraine decided to do something funny, we cannot go and pressure them because you owe them a favor. I blew up Biden. Maybe they make some stuff up that are not even true. And number two,
Joe Biden was a special envoy to Ukraine during this point in time. He goes to Ukraine, flies. I'm not done. He's at this particular point in time. He was a special envoy to Ukraine, appointed by Barack Obama.
He was a special contact.
Can I finish talking? Can I finish talking?
Okay, finish talking. Okay.
Now, he was a special envoy to Ukraine appointed by Barack Obama. He had been to Kiev many times. 12, 13 times he flown to Kiev. He's talking to high-level officials in the government and says, hey, fire this prosecutor or else you're not getting this money from the U.S. government. How is that not acting in a political way?
I'm going to repeat it one more time, bro. It is for personal gain.
Sir,
no,
the money was coming from the government. How was that not political?
Because it's not how that situation jeopardizing U.S. security. Tell me.
Look. The money was coming from the government. You're telling listen. Can I finish? I'm gonna finish. You are bribing a foreign country with U.S. money. How can that not jeopardize security
It's
in
not
the nation?
bribing anybody. Look, let me give you a little bit of scope about the situation. The government in Ukraine want this guy removed. The European Union want this guy removed was corrupt. Now,
hold on. Wait. So hold on. Who wanted who removed? The prosecutor?
The European Union, because there were many complaints.
No. You said the Ukrainian government wanted this guy removed, the prosecutor?
The prosecutor, because it was corrupt.
Okay, why, sir? Okay, sir, I'm gonna talk. If the Ukrainian government wanted the prosecutor removed, why did it take Joe Biden to force them to remove him if they wanted to do it? Why would it take all of that?
The government of Ukraine is corrupt. That was one of the main.
Well, okay, but you just said that the Ukrainian government wanted the prosecutor to be removed. If they wanted him to be removed, why didn't they do it themselves? Why did it take Joe Biden to make them do it?
I don't know.
So obviously what you said was wrong. If you don't know why it took them to forcefully have him removed by somebody else, you can't say at the same time they wanted him gone.
if you don't investigate Trump. You don't investigate Joe Biden.
Is that what he said? Is that what he said?
That's what he said. That's what the record from the.
Was that his words?
Whistleblower said.
Was that his words?
That's what the whistleblower said.
Sir, was that his words?
Yes. That's what read the report. Present the report
on the transcript.
It's not for your best
on the transcript, is that what he said?
Okay.
In the phone call, is that what he said?
The phone call, Trump says several times, according to the whistleblower.
In the transcript, sir. In the transcript, is that what he said?
No. You're talking about the transcript from Trump. It's different.
Okay.
Sure. Like I said, the whistle. Okay. So why?
So the transcript is fake. So it's a fake transcript. Is that what you're saying?
Okay. So why the whistleblower will come forward?
All right. Ivan, look. We getting low on time. I have one last question to ask you. Do you think that the transcript released by the White House is fake? Yes or no?
It's incomplete.
Is it fake? Is it fake?
I'm not saying it's fake. It's incomplete.
So what's missing? What's missing?
It's not full transcript. But my question to you, bro.
Okay, but look, we don't have that much time. What's missing from the actual transcript? Okay, all right. You had a time. I'm sorry. Thank you for the call. All right. Shout out to Ivan. That's one thing I keep hearing all the time. Oh, the transcript is fake. It's not all the way real. It's like, come on, man. The transcript is not fake. The transcript is what it is. It's a real document. I mean, come on. The Ukrainian president himself came out and said that this whole thing, that this thing about I was forced to do a thing is just not real. It's not real. It is what it is. Yeah, ain't that right, Ken Bone? I've heard enough with the word whistleblower. If I can just have that word removed from the English language for at least, a little while, I feel so much better. But let me get back to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. Let me get to the next call. All right, call you on the line, 912. Who am I speaking to?
Speaking to Rick.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Nathan, man. I'm so glad to talk to you, bro. I used to think that you were a coon until I started listening to you, bro.
All right. So what did you hear that changed your mind?
It wasn't a particular thing that changed my mind. It just was me listening to you over time. Excuse me. Listening to you over time, and it started making sense. It started making more sense than the rhetoric that I was getting exposed to on, CNN and MSNBC, stuff like that, man.
Well, I'm glad to hear it, man, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's all I called in to say. And Trump 2020, bro. I'm voting for him.
There we go, man. Glad to hear it, man. Thank you for the call. Keep on watching. Definitely appreciate you.
All right.
All right. Shout out to the caller. So we got a converter. Got a conversion. Hey, I love it. I love it, man. I love people, they're waking up, getting the new information. I really, really love calls like that. So shout out to my man for the call. Let me get to the next call. 858, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony, this is David from Texas, South Austin. How you doing, man?
Everything's good, man. How about yourself?
Yeah, doing good. Yeah, just listening to your past caller, not to beat a dead horse, but obviously a couple examples. How can the Joe Biden situation not be both personal and political? You're using your position in politics as, to force things to get done. So it's both. It's personal and it's not always one or the other. So of course it's political. You're using your position as vice president to force another country to do things. Yeah, and also in 1999, I believe, there was a treaty signed between Ukraine and the United States that basically stated that each country would work together to root out corruption. And so, it's the president's job, it's his duty to, even if, let's say that it was true, let's say that Trump, called the president of Ukraine and said, look, I need you to find out if this person did these corrupt things and that was in political office in the past. I need you to, give us any information you can. That is not a crime. It was actually a treaty signed back in 1999, I believe. I'm not sure if anyone's talked about that yet, but anyways, just also term limits. Definitely on board of term limits. The past caller was talking about that, and also wanted to talk about, people that, I lived in California. I moved to Texas about 7 months ago. It was hard to leave California, but, they're struggling out there. It's more and more expensive. And I know there's probably a lot of people that feel stuck in California, and they want to maybe move and make a better life for themselves. And, sometimes you have to do that. To me, today's situation kind of, I don't know if states' rights was meant to be this, but I've been looking at states' rights in a different way. Like it's almost like you can always find another job. Like states' rights can be like an example of the free market, to where, if your job's not treating you well, you can always get another job. Well, that's what states' rights can be in a way. It's like, well, if California or any other states taxing their people too much, or the policies are, just too much of a burden on someone, well, you can always leave. You can always go to another state, which is cool. It's the idea that, power is never too centralized. And that's part of what a globalist wants. A globalist wants that situation to be like, look, even if you live in this state or that state, it doesn't matter where you go, we can still get to you. We can still apply our policies to you. So, man, our forefathers and the people that fought for this country and other countries for the right reasons, they understood that too much power in one person's hands is incredibly detrimental. And they found out to create an American Constitution that kept power decentralized enough. And one of those ways was, states' rights. And it does. It's like, well, I hope that building the wall on the southern border actually eventually forces California to shape up. If enough productive people leave California and go to other states, then maybe it'll start hitting the pocketbooks of California, as long as they can't get that cheap undocumented labor. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm with you. It does make a lot of sense.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say to the people out there, in other states, that you feel that your representatives, your state, aren't doing enough for you. And it's never perfect. Even there's a lot of states, but there's other states that are more, they leave you alone more fundamentally. I went to Texas because I have a wife and a little girl, and we were, in a small bedroom apartment, and it's crazy how much it costs. And I didn't see a future there. So, we moved to Texas, and it was tough at first, having to leave some family and friends, and I've been there for, most of my life. But it's great. I own a home now, and yeah, things are more expensive in general everywhere, but not as much here. You can always go somewhere else, and sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to make moves and take control of your life. I feel like I was able to, I felt a sense of freedom doing that, and I was just wanting to give people encouragement out there. If that's what if they feel like they're thinking about moving, you can do it, and it'll work out for you. As long as you work hard and you stick to your plan and have a goal in mind.
That's right.
So I just want to say that, and keep on doing what you're doing, man. Love listening to your show, and shout out to every red-blooded American out there that speaks for truth, and keep on keeping on, man. All right, talk to you later.
All right, thank you for the call.
All
right, shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him, and thank you all for being here. The number to call is 434-658-1220, 100%. Let me get to my next call, and that's going to be 571. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Good afternoon, Anthony. This is Nicholas, the Grednick from West Virginia.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Doing well, sir. Thank you. Very enjoyable show, man. We had a lot of fireworks going, and kudos to everybody that called. Very good analysis and discussions. I got a couple of points, if I may. One is for the gentleman, Ivan. He mentioned his opinion, and I'm not going to comment on his opinion. What I'm going to bring everybody to remember is the incident in the White House where Jim Acosta was holding the mic, and the lady, the intern, was trying to take him away from him, and he pushed her on the side, and there was a video on it. And then you had two countries. One country that would watch exactly the same video and say, yeah, I mean, he pushed the lady on the side, he held onto the mic. And the other one that said, no, he didn't even touch her. And that is the worrying part. The worrying part that even with photographic data and in all this great technology era that we live in, that you can actually see the video yourself. You can see what has been said. You can read what has been said if you read transcripts. You still believe what you want to believe, which brings me to the point that emotion has overcome reason. We're now shifting towards what Europe has become, a whole continent filled with emotion. Oh my gosh, all these poor immigrants, let's help all of them, despite the fact that they will not offer anything, they will not assimilate, they will not give us something. Let's help them. And then you see where Europe is going. The same thing happens here. You read the transcript, and in the second paragraph, the complaint of the whistleblower, he clearly states, I have not witnessed these things myself. He says that. I mean, there's no denying. And if you go into legal terms, this classifies as hearsay. So it's not even admissible in any court. It's he said, she said. You read the transcript that the White House produced, and it clearly says, okay, we have some things, can you investigate on that? Fine. If you really want to find something bad towards Trump, Orange Man bad, I don't like him, my feelings got hurt because he won the presidency, I'm with her and all that stuff, you're going to find it. I mean, let's not face it. Let's not kid ourselves. You are going to find bad things about Trump. You are going to turn the words around in order to serve your feelings to make you feel better. If you apply reason towards what is being said and what is not being said, then you're going to see, well, this doesn't hold water that much. It wasn't that big of a deal. Now, what is a big of a deal, and you pointed this out to Mr. Ivan, is that we have a video of ex-Vice President Biden bragging about the fact that he was, some sort of a wise guy or something. I don't know if that's the correct expression. Allow this to me. That, hey, I wanted this, otherwise I'm not going to give you the money. Okay, you fire the guy, there you go, there's your money. And it would have been perfect if this was, a business deal, the mafia, whoever, right? Even neighbor to neighbor. But if you're using somebody else's money, you have to be accountable. And that somebody else is our money. What people really need to realize that there's two sides, the conservative side and the crazy side. Mm-hmm. And the crazy side, and apologies to everybody that's on the crazy side, you're being governed by emotions. Tone it down a little bit. Sit down, take 5 minutes, and read it thoroughly and apply your own reason. Everybody is smart in this world. There's no dumb idiot people. I do not believe that. Everybody has the capacity to understand normal words and everything. Shut the TV off, read what's going on, and then make up your opinion. If you let other people to make your opinion, then we're lost. Case in point, why was Greta in the UN? A child to bring out emotion, to make people feel good for themselves. And yet, if we are to apply what Greta is saying, if we are to apply all that, we have so much shift in the data, the population, all the factors that affect the climate in this day and age, that if we want to see meaningful data coming back, whether this little thing that we did here actually made a difference, we can't. Because of all of the shifting data, there's no standard, there's no base. And there is no base because all the data has been corrupted over the years with regards to climate change. And of course, that feeds into the $17.5 trillion industry that the climate change hoax is. I'm not denying that there's no change in the climate on a daily basis, but also as part of the humans. But it's definitely not going to be fixed if we follow climate change as a dogma and we don't sit down to find pragmatic solutions that would actually help the planet. If you're, just to close, I know I've been talking for long, sorry. If you really believe that we need to do something, and you need to say, all right, we need to reduce CO2 emissions, carbon monoxide. Okay, carbon dioxide, sorry. Great. Why aren't you going and attacking the root of the problem, where you're going to get the most bang for your buck, for instance? Greta never mentioned anything about China, and China is by far the biggest producer of CO2 emissions. So even if we really wanted to do something here, and if we really cut down everything, you know, everybody's driving an electric car, everybody's walking, this, that, the other, China would have negated whatever we tried to do within less than a year. So if you really want to have solutions, let's all sit down and do solutions. Emotions will never help us. That's all. Thank you so much, and good evening to the wonderful audience. Thank you.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you. Great call. Hey, you guys are great callers tonight. Fantastic callers. Thank you all for calling. And if you are in the chat, you have not liked the video yet, please like the video. Also, subscribe if you're not subscribed already. When you do subscribe, hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or post a new video. Let me get to this call here. Somebody's trying to call in that already called today. I have one call per night. Sorry about that. I cannot answer your call if you already called in. Let me get to my next call here. Alrighty, let's do 910. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes, 910. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, I was just making sure my stuff was turned down. Well, I talked to you about a couple weeks ago, and thank you for your show and everything you're doing. I think it's just sad about what's going on in the country right now. It's almost like watching fake news become real. You know, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, it's really crazy how I feel like a lot of this stuff used to be kind of like tabloid things that you would see in the checkout aisle in the grocery store, but now this is what people try to pass off as real news. It's really weird to see.
But there was one thing that's really been bothering me lately. It's a little bit off in the weeds as far as about what you've been talking about on the show. It's our young men in the military. What's going on with, except for the Air Force, the Marines, the Navy, and the Army, the suicide rate. This is what, you know, maybe they need to get in contact with, you know, wherever they're serving at, and maybe find out what's going on in the lives of these young men. This is just craziness. Or, you know, I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on. I've been seeing that, but I don't know what the root cause is or what's really going on. So it's definitely something to it, though.
If they can get on social media, or like you say, listen to your show, know that there are people who appreciate for what they're doing for their country, and that no matter where they're at, they could be from Tennessee, but be in Texas, and know that, you know, the people in Texas appreciate them serving in the military, and also their local communities where they're at, and also, you know, hey, we're praying for your family back home that you've left to serve in our community and for our service. And maybe they just need to be, you know, someone needs to reach out to them and let them know, especially with like the social media like you got. I know there's guys in the service that I know they can't officially speak and say, but they do have opinions about, what they're doing.
Yeah.
They could call in their show and say, hey, remember us, and I'll just call in and let you know I support those type young men. They come from different areas around. I'm in North Carolina. We've got several big. We've got the 82nd Airborne, close to where I'm at in Fayetteville, and then on the coast we have Camp Lejeune, big Marine Corps base, and like I say, them young men come from all over our country, and I appreciate everything they do for us. And I'll go ahead and thank you. This Elizabeth Warren, she can't even get money from the Democrats and liberals and the Wall Street said, hey, we're not going to give you no money. You're talking about taxing us to death. And what? Us pay for your utopia? No. I mean, I don't know who the Democrats are going to get. So it looks like Sleepy Joe's in trouble now. We had Elizabeth Warren, and now Bernie, he's so off and to the left. I mean, who in their right mind is going to vote for trillions of dollars of stuff that none of us can pay for?
Right.
We're like slaves for the rest of our life, our lifetime, and our children's lifetime to pay for it. Okay, well, I'll let you go, ABL. Thank you for everything you do for us, and I hope maybe we'll get to see you. I'll get to see you on one of these tours you're doing, and you have a blessed night. Thank you.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, you too.
All right, shout out to all the callers. I appreciate you guys for being here. You guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. If you want to get through Skype, there's an email for that in the description box. You could be right here in the bottom left-hand corner with audio and video. But let me get to my next call. All right, let's go. Nippin, what's happening?
Oh, not much. How are you doing?
Everything's great, man. Can't complain.
So, impeachment drama. Well, they're just making Trump stronger and stronger and stronger.
That's right. 100% correct.
That's what happened. And like I said, back in the 90s, that's exactly what happened to Bill Clinton. The Republicans just made him stronger.
Oh, absolutely.
So BLS 2019, I hear you're going to it.
Yes. I will be there. It's going to be great. I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of people, a lot of celebrities, a lot of people that's going to be there.
Yeah, and there's a huge update in my calendar. I start my semester next week, so I will. So from now until I think it's the 19th of October, and then from beginning of November to the middle of December, I will only be able to do Saturdays.
Okay.
So this will be my last midweek call before mid-October.
Got you.
So yeah, it's my semester, and obviously studies take more priority, and I have to be every Thursday. I have to be at work for 10 o'clock GMT in the morning, not in the evening.
Got you. So you can't be up too late because it's right now pretty late over there, right?
Yeah. I can only do weekends until late October, and I can only do late October. Then it's a break, and then it's from November till mid-December. During the semester breaks, I can still do midweeks.
Right.
So yeah, political kids.
Yeah, talking about people like Greta Thunberg, the climate change activist, and also people like my man that had the MAGA hat on. Remember him? Nick Salmon. Remember how the media treated him like he was garbage. He was 16 years old too, and there was no real protection for him. But now here comes Greta Thunberg, another 16-year-old climate change activist, and they want to just circle the wagons around her like she's next coming.
Yeah, they treat us on the right like some sort of demons.
Yep, they try to say that, oh, she's a child, leave her alone, but they don't give the same kind of treatment to people that are young on the right.
Yeah, they just want us off the face of the earth.
That's what they want, but it's not going to go down.
Well, Google, YouTube is owned by Google. Maybe us on the right should start something a bit like Silicon Valley. Base it in something like, I don't know, Wyoming. Deep red Wyoming.
Right.
That way we can all have free speech.
Exactly.
But then again, Google is the bigger picture and they will find a way.
Right. Oh yeah, of course. I mean, it's hard to defeat such a giant industry, a giant entity like a Google. It's so big with so many tentacles. It's hard to really do anything with them.
Yeah, like you say, if you can't beat them, join them. But that doesn't apply to everything.
Right.
Yeah, and that PragerU Hitler. Oh my God. Oh my God, where do I even start?
Yeah, that was crazy. So you saw that one, huh?
I saw it last week while you were playing.
You saw it live.
I saw it live after my call with you.
Right.
So yeah, and I can't believe, and they said Jesus is worse than. Oh my God.
The one girl didn't even recognize Jesus. She was like, "Who's that?"
I'm sorry. I just can't stop. Oh, and then Cindy McCain says GOP is no longer the party of the John McCain belonged. Yeah, she's right. She's 100% right.
She is correct, and that's not a bad thing. I think that many of us we appreciate that.
But I don't think she does. Well,
she doesn't. She wants. Yeah, she wants things to be the way that they were in the past, but those days are long gone. They're not coming back.
Exactly. And if like the shift to the right the Republican Party's having. Imagine if the same thing happened to the Democrats, like not ultra-conservative or like that or the other, but like more towards the center, like a centrist type party. That way they can be more competitive.
But see, the way things are now, you can't really be in the center. You have to be on one side or the other, like because.
How long can that go? You can only go so far before a balloon pops.
But I tell you what, though, I think that right now the right could be considered centrist because of how far the left is. It's like the right are just like normal people, and the left are nut jobs. Therefore, the right is like just normal, kind of center, even though we are on the right.
Look, the GOP is moving further and further to the right. The Democratic Party is moving further and further to the left. It's starting to sound a bit like a song. But yeah, there's only so much something can take before the balloon pops.
Well, I think that the left, I think their balloon is pretty much gonna is like, especially on a national stage, I think they're pretty much done. I think they're toast.
So wait, like there's one party can't rule forever though. There needs to be a third party which will eventually overtake the Democratic Party, like a centrist
Well, I mean, there are plenty of other parties, but the way that it is right now in the country, it's just a two-party system. Like there's other parties, but it can't really gain traction to.
No, I mean, like say the Democratic Party is it's losing a lot. So to keep the two-party thing alive, even in national elections, something's going to change. So, the last thing I want is like one party in power forever, because that becomes like, I don't want to say it, fascism. Like one party rules forever. Because look, countries like China, one party state. Look what happened. Countries like what's its name? Yeah, Nazi Germany. People who actually compared Trump. Look what happened.
Well, see, the thing about it is we still have local, and that has a really big. That's really important as it relates to politics. Local affects a lot of what happens in your everyday life. You know, the federal government, I think the founding fathers wanted the federal government to be less intrusive in your everyday life. And your local government made the most sense to really be impactful because it directly represented the people that were right there versus having this national thing. You could be in Washington, D.C. and decide to fake people in California and stuff like that. The local government should be the focus. So maybe we get away from so much federalism and more back into statehood and have that be the focus.
Yeah, but the thing is, the last thing I want anywhere, not just in the States, anywhere, is a one-party state.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to see some variation. Look, do not get it twisted. I do not support the Democrats in any way, shape, or form. But you see what I mean? Like,
I understand what you mean.
Like, yeah, but if there's another party that can compete, then please, I want to hear your ideas. But if you want to be rude, bigoted, which is the left, basically, they're bigoted.
Yeah.
By calling us bigots. Well, if you want bigots, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror.
That's right.
And yeah, little Schiff.
Well, Nip here, be kind of low on time here, so we gotta save that one for next time.
Yeah, I shall see you on next Saturday.
I will see you then, man. Thank you for the call as always.
You'll be back from the thing by then, right?
Saturday I'll be there, but I'll probably still be streaming on Saturday, but it'll be a little bit different.
Will you be taking in calls?
I think I will, but I can't really. I'm going to be streaming. I may be doing calls. I'll have my laptop and stuff there, so we'll see. We'll see how I do that.
Okay, so if you take calls, I'll see you next Saturday. If not, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Saturday your time, Sunday mine.
Gotcha.
If not next Saturday, I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Alrighty.
Speak to you soon.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Peace.
Peace. All right. My man, for the call. Thank him. Definitely appreciate that. Yeah, so next Saturday, well, this coming Saturday, I will be in DC, of course, for the Black Leadership Summit. I'll have my equipment. It obviously won't be the same as the way I got here. I got to do monitors and stuff. I have my laptop, microphone and stuff, so I may be able to take calls. It just depends on the hotel's internet or if I can do stuff from my phone. I don't know how it's going to really work. But also the week after that, I'll be in Miami. So I got DC, then I got Miami. Like I'll be back for a short period of time and right back on the plane to Miami. And that'll be for the American Priority Festival and Conference. That's going to be a great event as well. So a lot of traveling. If you live in the DC area or in South Florida or Nashville, that area, hopefully I get to see you sometime in October. All righty, but let me get to my next call here. Let's go. 916 on the line. Who am I speaking to? 916.
Yes. This is Sonny.
All righty, what's going on?
Oh, hey, what's up, man? So I just wanted to just real briefly, because I don't want to take up a lot of time, mention about my views just on. I used to be kind of more of a liberal, and then over in the last handful of years switched over, and I'm a hobo, and as a hobo, my view as far as politics and stuff is I kind of view it from Malcolm X's perspective on how conservatives he views as wolves and the left he views as foxes, and that the advantage to basically like the advantage to a conservative president as opposed to a liberal president is that a conservative president they don't try to hide their malintent, whereas the fox does try to hide their malintent. So I was just going to ask, as a hobo, like, besides that particular advantage of having a conservative president, are there other advantages that you think for someone like a hobo or a homeless person might have, see or benefit from having a conservative president?
Well, I don't know your situation, so I can't really say to that. I mean, do you have a drug problem?
Oh, me? No, actually, I've been sober for almost 18 years in November.
Okay. So it's just like financial job situation?
Yeah, but it's been on and off for most of my life, and I've gotten to a point where I don't really believe in class mobility, like being able to a person working up through class mobility.
I mean, it can happen. I mean, my family, we come from West Virginia, trailer parks, the whole nine. Both of my parents got houses, cars, all of that. I'm talking about coming from nothing. My dad, look, here's my quick story.
Yeah.
Rand, West Virginia, one of the poorest places in the nation.
Right.
Average income $16,000 today. Back then, like, it was Rand was so poor during when my parents grew up. It was in the National Geographic. Okay, very poor place.
Okay.
And they were black on top of that in West Virginia, 95% white state. But anyway, I saw a picture my mom showed me when I was a baby. It was my dad. She gave him a picture of Kool-Aid with some water in it and a sandwich, and he drove like 10 hours to go to Virginia to get an interview for a job. Like, we're talking about very poor. So,
right,
I mean,
yeah.
But we were able to rise above that. So I think they do have class mobility. Some people are not going to really be able to get beyond where they at. I don't know why, but some people are just not going to be able to get there. Some people start at a certain place and they decline. I think it's a lot to do with the individual. America is a place where you could pretty much do whatever you want. A lot of it just depends on the individual, and it also depends sometimes on stroke of luck.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that's been difficult for me, because I have kind of gotten back into the mainstream before, but I found that there's so much I guess you'd say prejudice against the homeless community and homeless people that it made it very difficult for me to assimilate, because I don't believe in the majority of the prejudice that that you see on the news and this and that, and but I don't really, it totally doesn't faze me anymore. It's a normal thing, in my opinion, that there's a lot of prejudice against homeless people, that they're all mentally ill, lazy, drug addict, and all this other stuff. Yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts, because I will say I used to work in the homeless service provider field in California, and I was, it's such a blue state, and everybody's always talking about equality is so important, but I could never understand how homelessness was never included in this, their quest for equality and stuff. And after working in the field for 8 years in California, the last couple of years, I just gave up on, liberalism, the leftist thinking. And so when Trump won, for someone like me, in my views and my experience, it was a real victory. I saw it as like, this is great. That's the best thing that could happen, as far as like from my perspective and issues that I care about and stuff. But so I just want to get your take on it. I don't want to take up a bunch of time, but if you have any other thoughts before I let you go, that'd be great, man. And by the way, I love your show, dude. Thank you.
Thank you for the call, man. And hopefully, things work out for you. Things, I ain't just saying this because you're here, but seriously, hopefully everything, will improve. But before I let you go, so you're in California right now. That's where you live?
Oh no. I left over 2 years ago because I knew that it was going to get bad, and I saw it coming already, and I wanted out. And believe it or not, being in a red state as a hobo, where I'm at now, like, it's so much easier to, I don't get harassed by the police hardly at all in comparison to like California. It's like night and day. It's just so weird how a liberal state is constantly, criminalizing, and unconstitutional policing of homeless is happening like constantly in California. And now I'm in a red state, and I don't cause a lot of trouble. I mind my own business, and as long as I'm doing that, I don't get harassed by anybody. It's really drastically different.
Do you want to say where you are? Or you want to keep it to yourself?
Well, I'm in Arizona, so. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know it's hot out there, man. So stay cool, man.
Oh man, yeah, thanks, man. but it's not as hard being a hobo, being sober. I will say that.
Yeah.
Like, not drinking and using drugs, it makes it so much easier. And I'm actually, as bad as this may sound, I'm pretty content. I don't have a ton of complaints. I don't really have much to complain about. It's pretty cool. As long as I just keep to myself and, don't get in any trouble and try to do what's right and what's good as best I can, things run pretty smooth, so.
Well, hey, man, thank you for the call. Thank you for sharing the story, man. So, yeah, just stay away from the drugs, away from the alcohol. And, hopefully everything will work the way you want it to work, man. But thank you for the call.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, now. All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, hopefully everything works out, man, because, Arizona, very hot. When I was out there, I saw a guy, homeless guy. I was like, man, like, he had a sign that says hungry and hot. That's like, good grief. Like, I was in the car sweating bullets. Well, not even sweating, because you don't sweat in Arizona, but that's a different story. It's very hot. So hopefully my man, he can just be good and stay away from any kind of trouble. Yeah, God bless him. All right, let me get to my next call here. Let's go 9165. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Stephen Smith.
All righty. What's going on?
Hey, man. So I'm watching your stream, and it's my first time watching it. Like what I see, I'm just wondering, what's your political affiliation? Are you Republican, independent, or what's the deal with you?
Conservative.
Conservative, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So as somebody who's, I haven't voted yet, but I'm kind of leaning more conservative. And I'm not a full-on Trump supporter, but I'm just wondering why it seems you're ignoring that a sitting president essentially pimping out our country, and all you're doing is blaming Joe Biden for it.
Okay, so what did he do? Tell me what he did. Explain it to me.
Okay, well, according to the White House, which he works for, or he lives in, for I don't know how many days he's there. But anyways, according to the White House, it says that he asked Ukraine if they can look into Biden. I don't see how that's not illegal.
Why would it be illegal?
Because looking for dirt on your political opponent, especially from a foreign entity, is outright illegal.
Says who?
Says the law, says our Constitution.
What law? Like, can you cite the law? I mean, I feel like that's your opinion.
It's pretty cut and dry.
No,
cut and dry.
No, I think that's your opinion, because this is not a new thing that that happens. I mean, the Democrats did this in 2018. They reached out to Ukraine to get quote unquote dirt on Trump. I mean, it's not illegal to do that. You might think that it's unethical.
No, just because the Democrats did it doesn't make it any less right.
No, I'm just saying that. I mean,
and that's what I'm. That's
sir. Listen. My show. Now, I'm not trying to. I'm just saying. I mean, you like this. This is not an uncommon thing that happens. Is what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say, oh, the Democrats did it too, which they did, and they actually
that's what
did.
you
But
said.
can I finish, sir?
Sure,
All I'm
that's
saying
what you
is
said.
that this is a common thing that happens. So if it's illegal, then why does it commonly happen out in public? It's not illegal. So I mean, if you're gonna say it's illegal, you got to be able to cite a law or something somewhere to show me, okay, this is what he did, this is what law he broke, and it's illegal. And if what he did is illegal, sir, I gotta, because like, look, sir, look, listen. When I'm talking, you got to stop talking. If you're gonna say that it's illegal, then we got to go back and look at all the other times that this happens all throughout the course of recent history, a little bit further back history in America where this happens. This is not a new thing. This is common.
I agree. And that doesn't make it any less right for our current president.
Is it
getting away with
is
it?
It right? Is it a matter of being right, or is it a matter of being legal? We got to pick one, because that ain't the same thing.
Oh, it's both. It's both, and you can't excuse Democrats, Biden or anybody, for getting away with it as well. I mean, they should be prosecuted as well. I'm for everybody doing anything illegal to get prosecuted. I mean, but especially if our president, it's clear that he has asked a foreign entity for help, of course, for his election.
Is that what he said? Is like for the election, or you just making that assumption?
Well, because
sir, listen to me, sir. Listen to me. Is that what he said? Or, sir, can I talk?
Yes, you can, and I'm listening.
All right. Is that what he said, or is that your assumption about what he said?
It's a clear assumption.
All right, your assumption. So it's not what he said. When you go to court and you try to prove that, you can't say, "Oh, this is just my assumption about what he said." You have to be able to say, "This is what was said. This is the intention." Like you gotta prove it. You can't just say, "Well, I feel this way."
Okay. Well, look, can I say my piece? Because you keep cutting me off.
Go ahead.
Too. Okay. Well, when you ask a foreign entity to investigate the son of the most prominent political candidate of your opposition, does that take any kind of assumption to believe that that's going to help your election? You don't think dirt on Joe Biden would help Trump's election?
I mean, now when you say dirt on Joe Biden, what exactly do you mean? Because the information about what Joe Biden did is already out there. He put it out there himself. So, I mean, he wouldn't be getting he wouldn't be getting dirt, because dirt is already out there by Joe Biden himself. So, what exactly do you mean?
Well, you'd have to ask Trump that, because he's inquiring Ukraine about getting information on Joe Biden. I mean,
you called it dirt.
I'm reading the transcript,
sir.
Well, yeah, it is dirt,
sir. But look, the dirt was already out there by Joe Biden himself. So how are you calling it dirt when Joe Biden put the dirt out there himself? How can you say that he's trying to get dirt when the dirt's already out there? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, you'd have to ask Trump.
But sir, but look, but you said it.
I don't know his reasoning.
You said it. So if you say a thing, you got to be able to, back up your own assertion.
Well,
because hold on. Trump did not say, "I'm trying to get dirt." You said Trump was trying to get dirt, but the dirt you're speaking of, Biden already put out there himself on TV. So why are you calling it dirt?
Well, I'm calling it dirt because what's known is known, but yet Trump is out here asking, and it's in the transcript. I'm reading it right now. There's a lot of talk about Biden's son, that Biden stopped the prosecution, and a lot of people want to find out about that. So whatever you can do with the attorney general would be great. Biden went around bragging that he stopped the prosecution. So if you can look into it,
right?
Look into something that's already known.
Because you're trying to see if there's any kind of actual corruption, any laws broken. Like, because hold on, sir. You asked me a question. I'm gonna finish. Now, the president of Ukraine ran on an anti-corruption campaign, and Trump knows that. So in the conversation, they're talking about corruption. I mean, like, am I wrong about that? Did I lie just now?
No, you're not. You're not wrong. It's just
okay. So I mean, like, if I didn't lie, then what's funny? What is funny?
Trump trying to lead an anti-corruption campaign. That's funny.
I didn't say Trump. I didn't say anything about Trump leading an anti-corruption campaign. I just said that the president of Ukraine ran on an anti-corruption thing. That was part of his campaign, and Trump knows that. I didn't say anything about Trump. I just said that Trump knows that. But anyway, as I was saying,
and so the only
sir, he knows that. So in the conversation, it's like, okay, we're talking about corruption. All right, here's some corruption over here. Looking at that can help you right there. Boom. You're making it seem like he's trying to get dirt, but you just admitted that the dirt was already put out there by Joe Biden. So your argument that you came with was just wrong from the beginning. You need to just rehash. You need to fix, sir. I'm talking. Well, I'm talking. Can nobody hear you? You need to just refocus your argument because it seems like it's kind of flawed.
Right. So it's flawed of me to assume that Trump is looking for dirt on Biden when it says, "Can you look into it,
sir?" But we just said that the dirt was already out there. So you need to get a new talking point.
Trump couldn't be
Change
happy
it
with that, right? He needed to call Ukraine and ask for more information, right?
Is that why you call? Is that why, sir? Is that why? Sir? Look. This is my show. I can talk whenever I want. If you don't like it, you can hang up, sir. You can hang up, sir. If you want to hang up, go ahead. Okay, you want to just be quiet or you want to hang up? All right, so I'm gonna keep talking. Anyway, you gotta just change your argument. You said he's trying to get dirt, but the dirt's already out there. So let's just change your argument. And you can't say he called the president to get dirt. You don't know. The dirt. The conversation was congratulatory. You can't say he called him for a specific reason because you don't know. That's just your assumption. You're making a lot of assumptions and a lot of grasping for straws.
Let me ask you something, because you're making an assumption. You're making an assumption that there wouldn't be more dirt.
I mean, I don't know that. You don't know it either. I didn't say that it wasn't or it was. I'm just saying you don't know that.
And that's why Trump asked for it.
That's your assumption. That's your opinion.
You don't go around asking for dirt that you already have.
According to who?
International level. That's really stupid.
According to who?
According to international law, according to our Constitution.
You said that it's stupid. You say you don't go going around asking for dirt that you already have, and it's stupid. According to who?
According to common sense, you wouldn't go around.
According to whose common sense?
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I'm not. I mean.
According to your opinion,
I'm overestimating independence then, because that's pretty simple to understand.
That's your opinion.
If you have,
it's okay to have an opinion. Look, sir.
I know. If you have,
sir, look. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. It's okay to have an opinion. That's fine, but don't try to say this is just what it is. That's just your opinion. When I get on here, sometimes I talk about the news. I say, here's the facts of what happened, and then here's my opinion. You can give your opinion and just state like it's that. You can't just say that your opinion is correct.
I never said that. I said that Trump said he inquired Ukraine about dirt on Biden. Okay, you're saying
the dirt is your opinion.
Why would he do that,
sir?
If he already had dirt?
Sir, the dirt is your opinion.
That doesn't excuse that he did it, and that's not my opinion. This is in the transcript that the White House released.
So did Trump say? So did Trump say? So did Trump say I'm trying to get dirt on Biden? Is that what he said, or did you say that?
No, it says right here. It says there's a lot of talk about Biden's son. That Biden stopped the prosecution, and a lot of people.
All right, sir. The question was, did Trump say, I'm trying to get dirt, that specific thing, or did you say that?
Oh, come on. Does he have to be literal about that?
I mean, the question, again, I asked it one more time. The question is, did Trump say, I'm trying to get dirt on Biden, or did you say that? It's simple. Answer the question, please.
I said that because it's in the writing that's in the transcript.
Thank you for the call.
The White House released.
I mean, come on, man. Like, why we gotta do this? Look. People got to stop. This is what I'm talking about. This is the Adam Schiff stuff right here. You're making up stuff. You know, how you going to say he's trying to get dirt when the dirt's already out there? Joe Biden got on TV and said, hey, what I did was I went to Ukraine and I stopped the $1 billion loan from coming in until they fired the prosecutor. He said that on TV. Trump saw that. He was like, hey, have you guys seen that? Look into that. There's no dirt there. You can't say he's trying to get information. The information's already out there. Look into it. You were an anti-corruption person. Hey, here's something for you. Boom. I taught you a bone. It's simple. All right, let me get to my next call. But shout out to the caller for calling in. I appreciate him. But you got to answer them questions, man. Nine 978, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony, Steve Baldessari with American Patriots Forgotten Country and AmericanPatriotsApparel.com on the line. What's up, brother?
Everything's good, man. About yourself?
Oh man, I'm all right, but that caller, he tipped me right off. You can call it triggered or whatever. I say we all get triggered. It's just a matter of what you're getting triggered at, right?
That's right.
Oh man. So this guy's mad that there's dirt on people and that we want to stop the bad guys. You see, this is what's wrong with the left, because they could care less about stopping the criminals on their side of things, you know, and in general, they claim they do, but they don't care. All they want to do is stop Orange Man bad. You understand?
Yes.
And they're willing to make up, like you said, whatever fake news they have to. So what do you think of that?
I mean, yeah, pretty much. It's all just about confirmation bias. You want to listen to, people like Adam Schiff and all these other people that are, they're going to even tell you anything you want to hear, and then you just buy into it. And then when you're presented with facts, you just pretty much reject it because it doesn't fit your own personal narrative you want to believe in.
Exactly, and I don't understand why they're not. Trump was saying in an interview the other day, he's like, I wish there was something, or there's got to be something we can do legally to stop all this. And there is. It's defamation of character and of reputation. You can't just go around and make up stuff. And then if the media is given that airtime, they should be able to go after the media too. I feel like maybe that's a stretch, but why? Why is it a stretch, right? I mean, and if it doesn't stop, and if we don't stop it soon, we're gonna have this country be lost.
Definitely,
it's just nuts because like you were saying here's the deal, right? For everyone who wasn't really following it, okay? Biden bragged about the $1 billion he was going to withhold from Ukraine's, was it his president, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. And he made the prosecutor get fired and pretended he was corrupt, all to protect his son and his company and all the corruption going on, right?
That's correct.
So they're all mad. They're not mad at the right thing, though. And they pretend that they stick up for Biden when Biden and his son are the ones that did something wrong, and he's bragging about it everywhere. And Donald Trump's sitting there just meeting with a world leader. And if the dirt's already out there, right? So think about it this way. And I said this in the chat. If he already has dirt on dirt, why and how does that make Trump dirt? It doesn't. It's just the way they think. I just got a couple other points because I know I can't take up the whole show here. I know how that works. But, in general, I just want to put a label on it. It's Trump impeachment syndrome. It's the new version of Trump's arrangement syndrome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's exactly where we're at. And as for the whole kids, being listened to, it's a joke that 16-year-olds is the best that Dems can kind of put at us. The reason why we have kids be focal points of news on the right is because the left makes it that way and tries to smear even children. The left uses children on the left like Nazi Germany did to try to push their narrative because nothing else has worked and they're desperate, And the last comment I wanted to just quickly make, and then I want to hear your thoughts, is the one-party system that, a couple of callers ago was being discussed. I have a suggestion. We should give up the Republican Party because, let's face it, it's not conservative anymore. It's a bunch of rhinos running around trying to destroy America, pretending, that they're that they're right-wing when they're left. When they're left-wing. So I think we should start a new party called the New Conservative Party. That's what we should do. So, I don't know. What do you think about all that?
I don't know. I think that we can salvage the Republican Party. We just got to keep.
So?
Yeah, I think so, because you're trying to start a new one. The thing about D.C. is that you have people that have been in there for a long time, experienced people, and if you want to start something new, it's going to be kind of hard to do that with a bunch of novices. So you got to have some of the experience. You just got to clean it up. That's my thing, and you got to just kind of start from when kids are young to get them to a point where they can go to DC and make a difference. Because if you're trying to start something now, it's just like libertarians. You got Gary Johnson, or a better example would be Bill Weld. Look at what Bill Weld is doing. Bill Weld ran as the vice president of the Libertarian ticket. So it's a viable third party. Is it really? Bill Weld is a total swamp rat. Big time DC, right. Just rat. But that's what you're going to get. So you got to just start, I think, from the youth. Educate people properly. So when they get to DC, they will do right. And also have some better oversight in the situation because they do pretty much whatever they want up there on the Hill.
Oh, that's for sure. Yeah, absolutely. And the last thing I wanted to touch on is just the fact that I know you're doing the border I don't even know what you call it. I forget the exact name, but with Douglas Ducote and the American Joe Show, I saw you're on the agenda there. So am I with American Patriots Forgotten Country. That's going to be a great couple day thing they're doing there, where it might be one day, I'm trying to remember now, but where they're talking about the border and they're having all these different YouTubers and prominent people talk for half-hour slots. So I believe you're on that, correct?
I am on that, yes.
Yeah, so that's going to be great. I'm going to be, I'm proud to sit there and be part of that with you and other good conservatives. So that's all for now because I'm taking up too much time. So thanks a lot, right?
I thank you
I'll
for the
talk
call,
to you soon,
man.
ABL.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for the call.
See you.
All right, thank you to my man Steve Baldessari from American Patriots Forgotten Country. Yeah, so my man American Joe and many others are having like a 24-hour stream. I'll be part of it. I'm sorry, I'm very busy. I think that's going to be on. Let me check my calendar. And no bragging. I'm just very busy. Sorry. That's going to be on Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. It'd be a marathon, part of a marathon stream. I'll do a half hour, 9:30 to 10. So I'll put like a notice on here, probably maybe Monday or Tuesday, let you guys know. I could give you like a little heads up. And the point of the 24-hour stream is to promote an event they're doing later on in the year. I'm not sure if I can say what they're doing or not, but it's going to be involving the border. They're going to be doing a tour of the border. I can say that. They're going to be doing a tour of the border with a bunch of guys, a lot of veterans, a lot of security guys. It's going to be good. And the stream is to promote it. So I'll be part of that 24-hour epic stream, and a lot of other guys are going to be on it. So more about that. I'll try to put something out there on Monday or Tuesday so you get to see what's going on. Shout out to my man Steve for that. That was a good reminder for me to put it out there to you guys. I'll be doing that stream Wednesday, then I'll do that my regular show that Wednesday, and then the next day I'll be in DC. So I'm just really busy. But let me get to my next call. Alrighty, let's go. 702, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, it's Rob from Vegas.
Alrighty, man. What's going on?
Hey, okay, this one's going to be a little convoluted, but didn't the DNC go to Hillary Clinton to have Obama and Biden have the FBI investigate Trump when he was running for president by going to a British agent and Russians to find dirt on him?
Yes, they did, and it was this whole big thing. This guy, Christopher Steele, wrote.
Right.
He colluded with the Russians and wrote some fan fiction about Trump, and then that got the FISA warrant through James Comey, and then you got these people, who's that? Strzok and Lisa Page. They didn't like Trump. They had an agenda, an axe to grind against him. They wanted to get him. It was crazy. It was this whole big mess, and I've not seen any of them go to jail.
Right. So, they're talking about, Trump's asking, didn't Obama and Biden both ask the FBI to talk to Russians and British agents about Trump?
Yep.
But it was okay for them?
It was okay.
Okay, I just want to get that straight in my head, Isn't it funny when they do it? It's perfectly acceptable.
Oh yeah, and if you say that it's not perfectly acceptable, then you're just pushing conspiracy theories, and you just hate Democrats, so you just want to see them burn. But you see that innocent phone call Trump had. Oh nah, impeach now, send them to the gulag.
Oh man, it is. This thing is so funny. What's going on right now? But it is what it is.
Exactly.
Hey, I just wanted to say, hey, thanks for the show, and you have a great night.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate my man. Let me get to the next call here. 239, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 239. 239. Going once, going twice. 239, I'm sorry. If you can hear me, if you look into the stream to talk, you can't, because it's a delay. It'll be behind. So you gotta just have your ear to the phone. So when I pick up the phone, you can hear me. And if anybody, when you call in, just when you answer, turn your stuff in the background off, because if I hear any background noise, they can hear it too. It's, just the interference is in the way. But let me get to my next call. 843 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, this is Tyler, South Carolina. How we doing, buddy?
Everything is good, man. About yourself?
Doing all right. Hey, it's been a struggle tonight for you, I know, so I'm not going to beat you up too bad. But I just wanted to compliment you on, man, because you brought up the fact of being from Rand and all that stuff, and I just want people to know out there, I'm from Southern Ohio originally, and I just rolled through Rand yesterday, and every time I look across the river and I see, and I think about all through that DuPont and what a place it was for many people, and people paint it as it's a racist place, and they hear the word West Virginia, and I just want, it's a good, you're a good representation of the state. I just want to tell you that, man. Proud to
thank
be
you,
a mountaineer, I'm sure.
I appreciate that, man, because people got all these, misconceptions about West Virginia, all these jokes and stuff, but once you really go there, it's a different story. It's not what people would think. It's not this racist place. People that care about their neighbors, because people don't have anything really out there, and your neighbors and your church, all that's very important out there.
Yeah, people like, even my mama, they're from Mingo County, even like in Del Barton and Matewan, and people think, oh, it's so dangerous. If you're black, you can't get. It's not like that at all. There's been black families there for 100 years, mining coal right beside Irish people, Italian people. Like, what they paint us as in the middle of the country is what the left has forgot about America and how many of us exist. And it's not about our color, and that's where they missed it. It's because they weren't ever around black folks, so they don't know that there's a whole bunch of black and white people actually getting along out here and doing all right. But we'll show them in 2020.
That's right, exactly.
So for the people that don't get it, I appreciate your logic, man.
Exactly, 100%.
And one other point, your opinion in the future, do you see, if Texas does happen to go blue, obviously we're going to need all the swing states throughout the Rust Belt, the Mid-South, Mid-Atlantic states. Do you see any of the Wisconsins, Michigans, Pennsylvania maybe going back? I mean, the left is clearly separating themselves from the people. Hopefully there's no way they get the numbers. Your take?
I don't think so. I don't think they're going to go back, because the left has become too extreme. So at this particular point in time, they're not speaking to the people that are out there. Even those that might want to kind of go the other direction, they might not like Trump all the way. It's no reason for them to go the other direction. It's like, why would I change my vote for what? The left are not offering anything. They want to talk about getting rid of a lot of the jobs that I need. They want to talk about, coal being bad, and just a lot of different things that people out there
attacking our culture, man.
Attacking the culture every single day. It seems like they're more for just crazy people or elites. So why would you change your vote? It wouldn't make any sense. Nobody over there can have a message that just speaks to people that are out there, just average everyday folks. So I don't really see them flipping.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's about what my thinking. I just think the more they go left, they just forget places like, Logan County, West Virginia exists, or Pike County, Kentucky, or Scioto County, Ohio. They just think we're all just out here shooting heroin and stuff and a bunch of losers. And it's not like that. We're still taking care of our families, still praying to God, still saying the Pledge of Allegiance, standing up. It's just the things you see on CNN. It's only wonder these kids, growing up these days, think that some of this stuff is real. At least us X generation kids and us, us regular people, we know what's going on. So we'll stand together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's Rocky and Apollo out here. That's what I'm talking about. Ain't none of this other mess. So, all right, my man. Have a good one. Nice show.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, bro. Yes, sir.
All right. Shout out to my man from Southern Ohio. Yeah, I know a lot about Ohio. I got some family out there, Columbus. They have a family reunion out there, and it's like 100 people deep. Like I didn't go to this one recently, but they had one recently out there. 100 people deep, and that wasn't even everybody. That was just some people that probably live in Ohio. So shout out to my man for that. I most certainly appreciate him. Let me see if I can get one more call in, and then I'm gonna call it a wrap for tonight. And I appreciate y'all for joining the show. I definitely appreciate you. All right, let's go to 407. You on the line? Who am I speaking to? 407. All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. What's going on?
Okay. Are you still live?
I'm live right now.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't know that. All right. How are you doing?
Everything is great. Can't complain.
My name's Kevin, and I watch your show all the time. I appreciate the content you got. It's very informational. I love watching your content. I love the person who you are. I love the fact that you kind of pull out the fake stuff, you know what I mean? Because it's crazy. I'm almost 32. I'll be 32 in about a month, or not a month, but next Wednesday, and October 2nd. And it's everything's. It's crazy. I never in my 32 years have I heard this stuff that, you know, everything's being turned into a race card and everything. Like the kids at concentration camps. Like what? I got a question kind of too. Like what made you, what do you think? Like what made these people think like that? Like, is it really the Dems, or is that like that? Is that personally how they feel, or they just kind of convoluting things?
I feel like the mainstream media has prompted this kind of behavior. They push certain things, certain narratives. Social media as well. They push certain things, certain narratives. So they have to kind of like just abide by that in order to get any kind of support from these people, especially like in primaries. People that vote in primaries on the left are the lunatics. Not everybody, but a lot of them. So you got to be able to.
Too many of them.
Too many of them, correct. Too many of them. So you got to be able to appeal to them in order to even get to the point where you're up for election. And they try to kind of scale it back once it comes down to election time, but they can't because they've already been backed into a corner. You know, and you got to pick certain sides. Lines have been drawn in the sand. How do you feel about abortion? Oh, abortion up until the baby is born. Post-birth abortion. That's what you got to do now in order to be seen as, you know, progressive, because the media, they're in on it. The social media, Twitter, blue check mafia, they're in on it. So the left pretty much just falls in line with what everybody else is doing.
Okay. And like, what do you think about that? Like the whole abortion thing? Because my thing is, I don't think it's right personally to be killing no baby at all whatsoever. I say the only time it becomes acceptable is if, you know, somehow, you know, there's been a mishap and the you know, the person's, I'm sorry to say this, I know you say no cursing and stuff, but like rape, like the person's been raped or something like that I can see a reason, an actual reason for that to happen. But even then, it's not the kid's fault that happened. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they should be forcefully have the kid, but at the same time, it's not the child's fault. That child should still be had. And then, like, you know, if you don't want her, you feel like you can't take care of it. Not saying send it off to foster care, but if that's, you know, the safest option. I know I grew up in foster care, you know, and foster care was not the Ritz. It is still not the Ritz. And it's crazy. So my thing is, like, what do you think about that? Like, do you think it would be a different situation, like if something happened to them? Or like you thinking like I'm thinking, like they should still have the kid, but, you know, try to give it up for adoption or something? Because me personally, if I was a female myself, I wouldn't even think to kill the kid. I know, I mean, it might be messed up what happened, but at the same time, you know, it's not the child's fault.
Well, to answer your question, you know, rape and incest life with the mother, those reasons for abortions are less than 1% of all abortion reasons. So it's not
True,
a common
true.
thing to have an abortion due to being raped or something like that. Now, the child has nothing to do with it. The child is innocent. So it's not right to kill a baby because of how it came into the world. Now, that doesn't mean that the person who violated a woman should be absolved. Not at all. You find a person, you prosecute them if the evidence is there. You know, because sometimes there can be a false allegation, but if there's evidence of that, the person did it, you prosecute that person, but let the child, an innocent child, let the child live.
Yes. I don't know how much time I have. I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Yeah, we kind of like right at the end, so you got time for probably like one more minute, and then we got to wrap it on up, put a bow on top.
Okay. The next question I asked: Why do you think that they don't teach the same? Like back when we grew up, they taught about like real history. They taught about like Martin Luther King and the presidents and the World War I and II and Nazi Germany and Stalin and Hitler and things like that. Why do you think they don't teach that stuff in school? And why do you think that they're trying to twist that? I'm sorry, that's multiple questions. Why do you think they're trying to twist that to brainwash the new generation of kids? I personally think it's for gaining more votes. Of course, it's all going back to Trump. I support Trump 100%. I'm not going to agree with everything he says all the time, but he is doing a great job. I have no problems with him personally, but it is getting kind of, radical and annoying to hear every day something that's just not true.
Well, okay. The thing about education, I think they're kind of in the same boat with the mainstream media, the social media mafia, blue check mafia, Twitter, Facebook, the radical influencers, the Antifa, people like that are kind of born from social media. They're all in the same boat, and they're trying to just go as far left as possible. So teaching proper history is not appropriate to them. That's why they want to hide some of these Confederate monuments, because they don't want to talk about what really went on, the actual story, the true story. They want to have their own version of events be the only version people know. So then it's no surprise when you see the PragerU video where you have these kids that, are really adults, 20, 21 years old, who have never seen a picture of Jesus Christ before. They don't know who Hitler is. They don't know who Joseph Stalin is. If you would have showed them Mao Zedong, Pol Pot, Idi Amin, they would have no idea, because they've been taught about lesbian underwater basket weaving theory when they were in 5th grade, 6th grade. They're learning things that don't make any sense to prove, to push a certain narrative, a certain kind of social experiment, and it's kind of sick in my humble opinion. So that's really what it is. Just getting the education system has many times been infiltrated by a lot of the leftists think. All right,
man, it's really a crazy world out here, man. But I appreciate your content. I appreciate your videos. I'll keep watch all the time, every day when you upload something. Thank you for your content so much. I love the way you think, and keep hope alive, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
No problem. You have a good night.
Same to you. All right. Shout out to my man for the call. I most certainly appreciate him, but I have to go. If you did not get on, I'm sorry, but I got to go right now because it's the end of the show. Thank y'all for being here. I definitely enjoyed tonight's show as always. If you are not subscribed, I don't know what you're doing. Go ahead and subscribe right now and click that bell. Right beside the subscribe button is a bell right there. If you click that bell, you should get a notification whenever I go live or post a new video. Also, what I got coming up soon, I have the Black Leadership Summit in Washington, D.C. That'll be October the 3rd through the 5th. In Miami, Florida, from October the 10th through the 12th, I have the American, I'm late. The American Priority Festival and Conference. That'll be Miami, Florida at Trump Doral. And lastly, I'll have Politicon October 26th and 27th in Nashville, Tennessee. If you're in DC, South Florida, Miami, or Nashville, the surrounding area, I would love to see you. If you're going to any of the events, hey, I'll see you there. If you do need tickets for those events, there's a video on my channel that has all the event tickets in the description. But that's all I got. Shout out to the moderators. You guys have been great. Bill from the Hills, Elin Zen, Liza Jean, Michelle A, T-Pain, Ansel, Protocol. I say Bill from the Hills. Of course, Bill from the Hills, my man. Thank you all for being here. I most certainly appreciate you. And, super chats right quick before we go. I did not forget about you guys. I see you guys in the super chat. I read you guys right quick. Then I got to wrap it on up, put a bow on top. Shout out to Bones, who says, this guy totally stole my voice. Soundboard, LOL. Thank you for that. He also says, we speak about our race to prove we are free. There you go. Matthew Richardson says, sir, t-shirts are for sale. Link is in the description. I got to put those in the description for real. I'm going to sell those seriously. But thank you for your donation and your words. Shout out to Jason Williams for your donation. I appreciate you. Thank you to Yogi Fish, who says ABL 2024. Let's make that happen. Hey, you never know what could happen in 2024. But thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Moses of God, who says ABL always bringing logic. Hey, I try my best. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to Pineapple Apolodamus. I know I butchered that, but I'm sorry. It's late. Who says, does talking relieve stress? I think it does. Maybe it does. Shout out to the same person who says, what's worse, Islam and women or Judaism and women? You started something right there. And thank you for your donation. Shout out to Gender Neutral, who says, hey, that's funny. The name is spelled JENDERNEWTRALL, Gender Neutral, hilarious, who says, can Trump subpoena anyone if impeached? Or can Trump be subpoenaed by anyone? I'm not sure what that means. Maybe the person is saying, can Trump subpoena anybody if impeached? I'm not really sure. That's a good question. Thank you for that. And did I get everything else? I got everybody else. Thank y'all for super chatting, PayPal, and all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys. But that'll be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.